But not at the expense of a loss. Like, it's definitely, he's still in it, but he's got to basically start all over.
Yeah, we're just starting the series all over again here.
Alrighty, round 2. And I got to agree with you. I think I've had, like, I don't know, 1 or 2, or maybe like 3 draws max in my entire laddering experience with Gwent, and I've played a lot.
Yeah, we see these matches go 60, 70, up to 100 points sometimes to have it come down right on the nose there, 11 versus 11.
There the Crones lead by Peter. Let's see what
we have seen everything in this tournament, almost everything.
Everything, yeah.
Every time I think that we've seen some of the most exciting stuff, we get to see the draw. That was maybe one outstanding thing that hasn't happened yet.
Crones responded by Crones, the pure definition of a mirror here.
Yeah.
Let's see what Peter opts to go with. Looking to set up that Brand Warrior, potentially in the Siege row, to trigger the Spider the following turn, it seems. Really
I definitely want to go back and watch that match again. I think that last one.
Yeah.
You know, we've been doing a lot of commentating today. It's been, you know, a lot of great matches. In the mirror match, sometimes things blur together.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think about, you know, there's a lot of decisions could have been made differently there for the outcome, and it was too bad about the giant toad not being able to cycle.
Yeah.
And then ultimately, Zoltan, the parrot, slaying the Grave Hag. Great stuff, and now we get to do it all over again here.
Brand Warrior hits the Siege row. This is the definition of a mirror, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see how long they are able to mimic each other's plays.
At last.
A massive old spear tip too we got to see in the last match too.
Yeah,
you're never going to see a swing like that.
Yeah. Oh,
Only
he
in
draws
this
him
mirror.
Maracas. That is actually relatively bad for Noxious. That was a very strong owl lock there.
Well, it still musters the rest of them out.
Oh, but it drew him in a Raucous too for Peter, so it's fine.
Oh yeah. Well, this is
all
a mirror
good.
match.
Yeah.
But as PPD has shown, the mirror is turning out to be a place where he excels.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Not just matching his opponents in the mirror, but also mirroring the score for the team.
He's just the master of mirror
I
matches.
think we need to add mirror to the take a shot list of words that we're saying. For sure.
I mean, what can you do, right? It is a mirror match.
It is. It is. You know, Gwent's, there's a lot of great things about Gwent, a lot of unique aspects about Gwent that differentiates itself from a lot of card games. And, you know, in a situation like this where you draw the majority of your cards at the very beginning of the game, there's so many lines of play that you can analyze and so many paths of victory. It really does come down to the small decisions of when to play what and putting your opponent on certain cards. And now that both of these players have just played against each other, you know, like Old Spear Tip is, you know, it's fresh in memory. It's not going to catch you off guard.
Yeah, some people some people's first impression of Gwent is that, oh, you just play one card each turn. Well, that's a very basic game, but it's kind of like, yeah. But the thing is, how do you order those cards? That's where the game lies, alongside the passing game, and that makes for, like, that turns Gwent into the most complex card game that I've personally played, and I've played a lot of them.
It forces you to be slow. Like, there is no, like, when we talk about aggressive, and we, you know, there's a, you know, you throw in the word aggro perhaps in other card games, but when we talk about aggressive, we're talking about usually pushing to win in 2 rounds.
Yes.
And but that's still just as slow. It's still as deliberate, one card at a time. You get to play all your cards, which is always great. Makes deck building that much more satisfying in those small decisions you make when it comes to, especially when you're preparing for a tournament.
And talking about aggro, that's another thing that I love about Gwent. There's no such thing as aggro in Gwent, because every single match you play, both players get to play most of their hands, unless they refuse to. Like, they get to play their entire hand. Like, they get to play the entire strategy out. And that's a beautiful thing about this, because no certain archetype can actually avoid you from, you know, prevent you, actually, English.
And we talk about, we talk about a lot of the ways where, you know, how Gwent is different. A lot of people, you know, they're not huge fans of aggro. It ends games very quickly, very frustrating to play against.
It stops them from playing their strategy, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It stops you, but nothing can really stop you in Gwent until you run out of cards. So taking that out, and of course we talked about how, you know, it's a lower end of RNG. 2 things that players tend to have very charged opinions about. Gwent avoids that. And very, very satisfying when you know you've made all the correct decisions.
It rewards you for playing properly. And whenever you lose, you can always look back and say, I did this wrong. And that's beautiful, honestly.
It makes it great to learn and improve your play, because you can pinpoint a little bit more specifically what maybe could have been done different. And we're talking a lot about overarching Gwent strategy right now, an overarching game. We did just see this mirror, so we just wanted to take some time just to talk about why, you know,
Like,
Why we love
why
Gwent,
we
you know?
enjoy
Why we
Gwent?
love
Why we play Gwent? Because there's a lot of card games out there. Like, why would we choose this one? And I can tell you, I played card games all my life, ever since I was a teenager. And this is the best one I've ever played, man.
Well, we'll turn our attention maybe back to the game.
Let's go. Let's hop into it. Yeah.
Noxious taking a lead here. PPD.
11 strength ahead, actually.
Absolutely, yeah.
But one card behind. This mirror is still very tight, but he's developing a lot of strength into that Ran Warrior. We do know Noxious. I think both players do run Geralt Digny. At least I know Noxious does in this deck. And I think Peter does not, actually, but Noxious does. So he could potentially pick it up later down the line with Avalok. And he's got a very juicy target in that Ran Warrior in the Seas Row, actually. 26 strength that thing's packing. Because he can't really afford to rain because he has the most strength himself in the Seas Row.
Yeah, Igni is a very popular choice in this particular type of deck list you can build, but PPD choosing, get your shot glasses ready, a very unconventional pick of Zoltan Animal Tamer, which is a very flexible card, and this is the kind of deck that builds massive rows where, although Zoltan only can target, Zoltan Spirit only gets 4 of those units, you can always rely on having those 4 units on a row, or killing Grave Hags, or that.
I think Avalok is not that crazy of a play, really. Like, he needs to, he could draw a couple of key cards that could really swing this round around, but he's actually going to go for his leader's ability and pull a rally. Let's see what he picks up here. Another Necker.
Well, that means, we didn't see a Necker Warrior come out, so only one will return. Noxious,
That's actually a bad pull for him.
I think he was looking for the Necker Warrior in this case. 2 in the deck remain.
Oh, wow, that's unfortunate. He definitely needs, I think he needs to go for Avalok next then. Because you'll either pick Geralt Digny or Necker Warriors. Like, I think he has very solid draws with it that can help in this round. Very solid for this round. As he drops an Ekimara and consumes the Giant Toad, Peter has been able to barely get the lead here. And I think this is a proper time to go for Avalok, if you ask me.
Avalok is a great card and a great spy unit. We talk about spy units being risky, giving your opponent strength in change for drawing a card, and card draws are valuable resources in Gwent. Not a lot of cards allow you to do that, and not a lot of instances happen. However, Avalok is a fairly low-risk play at 8 strength. It's always great to play it when you can afford to play it and maintain that lead, but sometimes it's good just to get it out. It's never really too much of a risk, especially when you compare it to cards like Yavin at 14 strength, Donar, who can go up to 15 strength later in the game.
And I want to remind the audience that this is a rematch from the first match. There's Igni.
Geralt Igni, huge draw right here.
I want to remind you guys, because a lot of people don't know on the stream, this is a rematch from the first game that actually ended up in a draw for both players.
Definitely getting our fill, even though Dagon was banned quite a bit in this tournament. We're getting to see a lot of it right now. 2 back-to-back mirror matches, as we're still looking to see our first victory in this series.
That Igni is looking, he could even wait for it until he consumes the Simmering Willy to get even more value out of it. That's what Noxious is aiming for. This Igni is going to be extremely powerful.
It's going to be the swing that he's going to need. It could decide the match.
And he does have a clear sky, so he could lead into him going for his leader's ability for the rain if he wants to, and then get that out of the way. That would be very strong too.
And that's a fair thing for PPT to consider, knowing that Dagon is being used on Noxious's end. It's not a sure thing that he'll be able to clear it. But looking at Old Spear Tip, these rows, and being able to clear weather plus Igni, Noxious is in a pretty good position at this point.
Look at this board, ladies and gentlemen. This is massive. This is consume monsters. When you let it just pull the trigger and just get this train going, it is unstoppable, man. But this Geralt Igni could be the deciding factor. Noxious is definitely being very patient with it. Oh, will Karen consume the 26 strength? That would be huge.
That would definitely be huge. I'm trying to see if he's just going to go for that spider value.
And he does it.
He does it.
He does it. Oh, he could have avoided this, but he does not.
Well, did we see it? I'm trying to remember if we saw Igni in the draw game.
I don't think he used it,
Possible
no.
that it's not,
I don't think he used
it's not
it.
a sure thing.
Oh man, this is such a beautiful Igni for Noxious. He has to go for it. He has to capitalize on this now.
It's a hard decision to make.
Or maybe be patient because he's already played Karen. He doesn't have to worry about Karen anymore too. He's gonna go with the old Spear Tip instead. I love this strategy of placing it right next to the Ran Warrior so he doesn't actually keep the body. Look at that swing, folks. 20 strength lead for Noxious after being down by 20, I think. That was incredible, actually.
It's tough though waiting on Igni like this. let's say Peter passed right now,
Yeah,
it's
that's
not
true.
a guarantee. It's
Very
not
true.
guaranteed that you're going to get a better opportunity than right this minute to play it.
But the same can be said about Old Spirit Tip, and it's also monsters. Like, you tend to have a good Igni target in this matchup, unless, you know, it's a very tight round 3 in which there are very few cards played. I like him being patient. Oh, it seems the weather's happening, or maybe
There
the
it
rally. The fog.
The fog.
The fog, but he can clear the skies here. Clear skies.
Yeah, with Dagon being used, you're going to see a little bit more liberal use of that weather.
Yeah.
There it is. Well, not quite yet. Just
thinking about it.
taking a little bit of time here.
I think you go for it.
I mean,
You go for it.
do you go for it?
If he doesn't, that
the play here. Igni's the play here.
well, Igni you could also make a case for Igni, yeah.
Anybody who knows me knows that.
But he's shown Zoltan Animal Tamer though.
It's true. He has shown it. So all of that stuff is, I mean, well, the 4 units.
He goes for it. I like that play. I like that clear skies. That's definitely going to work out really well for Noxious, getting him back in the lead and being able to trigger his Rain Warrior. It actually consumed the 8 strength of the old Spear Tip instead of 1, which is what would have happened. There's the pass from Peter Dagger.
I mean, actually, you know, giving this a little bit more thought, Igni is probably going to have a safe way to be played, depending.
With Necker.
It's going to be a keep that you're going to want to take care of in the next round. This is the matchup in which Igni is likely to get the most value. Monsters.
Look at that. That's an Igni.
That's an Igni right there. Still got to deal with those other little guys, though.
Cyprian
and
Willie is
there's how you
huge.
deal with it. You draw into Cyprian.
And the Necker, he plays it immediately.
Oh, yeah.
Immediately.
The Warrior for the Neckers. Cyprian to
finally
answer
got
his
it.
opponent, and Igni to
Finally
answer
got
the
it.
22. This could be a 2-0. This could be a 2-0 right here. And, you know, Caretaker's no slouch either.
We don't see that much power in the hands of PBD, except for that Caretaker right there. Let's see how this ends up. That Igni is just so powerful here. But that Cyprian Willie is outstanding as well.
Yeah, Noxious is going to have to push here, I think.
He goes for it. He goes for the Caretaker. He's going to pick up.
Spear Tip isn't, well, not in this case.
I don't think he's going to pick up an Arrakis.
It's tough. Like you said, it is like a medic in this case because it's like looking in your own graveyard, really.
Oh, I think he wants to buff up the Rain Warrior even more potentially, but that's so risky.
There's so many Arrakis in the graveyard, it's hard to actually get a full
Oh,
view.
he wants to feed it more. This Igni. Oh my God, this Igni.
Oh, yeah. So many answers here. So many answers.
This is not going to work out for Peter. But I like how Noxious is being as
Taking his
patient
time
as
now.
can
He's
be.
taking his time.
I love it.
It's
I
possible
absolutely
he's
love it.
he's going to go for the aggressive play here.
Peter really aiming to keep that Rain Warrior for the next round. That's his strategy to win here. He needs to translate that huge strength, but Noxious is going to deny that with Geralt.
I would just love that narrative of going from a draw to a 2-0. I would love that. I would love to see that.
That'd be something, actually. What a crazy set of games we've had today. Like, this is insane.
I just think that, yeah, I think that it shows how, you know, when you play the ladder a lot, you get to see a lot of the same kinds of decks, and in some cases, a lot of the same decks, period. Like, you just see the same decks. Not the case in this tournament. We have seen such a mosaic of decks being played here.
Interesting how you have to target the Siege Row and losing a little bit of value there. But he does go for the Zoltan Animal Tamer. And I think this is a turn you Igni, folks. Or maybe...
Now, PPD's already played, yeah, both players played Karen. I'm trying to remember, again, it
going for it.
blurs together a little bit more.
He's
Mirror
going for it.
Mirror match. There it is.
I hate portals. And he burns that Rain Warrior, getting a lead by 1 point. There's the Arrakis Behemoth. Does Noxious go?
Well, now, yeah, it's still
All
a very
in.
close game after, you know, the plays have been, all the plays that have led up to that Igni.
Yeah, but he's not keeping that. He's not keeping that Necker.
Yeah,
Peter's not keeping that Necker, while Noxious is. That's a huge
that
deal
is
for him.
huge.
I would go Caretaker here. I would go all in.
I think, yeah, I think the strength that Noxious is carrying over is worth.
Oh, but he's actually gonna pass.
He's gonna pass. He's gonna pass. He could have squeezed that last card out of PPD. I think you could make a case for doing that for sure.
I guess he wants to be safe with it.
Round 3 will tell the tale. Let's look at the
Let's see what
final
he draws.
draws. Low keeps for monsters.
And that's the difference between the two.
That might be the difference
Cyprian
maker.
Willie, the MVP of today's tournament. Oh!
Grave Hag on the draw.
Oh my lord!
Being
And there's
able-
no Zoltan this time.
Being able to act last with Grave Hag.
He's going in.
Risky playing it first. No fear here. I think that's going to do it. This is going to be massive. Behold the power
Look at that.
of Gravehag. Noxious taking it. Taking a round away from PPD in the mirror after the draw. The Dagon Gauntlet. Dagon versus Dagon, back-to-back matches.
Noxious beat dominant there. Very impressive performance right there.
Very impressive performance. Boy, that is a lot of monsters. I'm fine taking a break from monsters, I think, after that matchup.
Yeah.
That is enough. All the cards that Monster plays are just like hissing and snapping. It's just like
you got the background music.
Cacophony of white noise every card that's being played here. So
you got the background music like. It's a cool song, but you know, over time you want to listen to something else.
oh, yeah. And we're jumping right into the next game.
Oh, good old King Brand. He's switching it up against Brewer, who is actually not a bad matchup here. I like this one. Like, King Brand does not, like, he handles Scoia'tael well. Because, well, it depends, actually. If he's not running more products, he's still vulnerable to Scorch. It's going to be an interesting game, actually. We'll see how it pans out.
Operator in hand. Every time PPD has played Brand, and he's the only player that brought Brand to the tournament, or the only one who's been able to play Brand in the tournament, has been able to draw into Operator each time, making it, you know, you make it a little bit easier when you run Ulzur's Double Cross, but he's been able to get Operator off each time, improving that consistency.
There he goes. There he goes with the Queen's Guard play.
Knowing that Monsters is out of the picture, King Bran has a much better landscape to work with, and PPD is looking to make up a game here as Noxious is leading 1-0 already.
There's no escape.
I say already as if those last two games were quick.
Yeah.
Back-to-back mirrors to deal with a draw that we saw in the first match.
Such high numbers in those matches, too. Like, showcases off the proactive potential of Consume Monsters. He goes with his King Brand's ability and discards 2 Queen's Guard and a Clown on Clay Raider. In case you guys are wondering why that guy enters the board after being discarded, it's because that's his ability. When he discards the graveyard, he is resurrected onto the melee row.
A lot of great way to get value out of the discard mechanic, which doesn't always get you there.
Exactly.
Although King Bran, a lot of strategies with deck lists is that you want to get rid of 2 Queen's Guards and you put 1 Raider in just so you can make sure that you can thin your deck and get something more out of it. And in this case, it actually allowed PPD to get ahead here. Take that initiative.
I never miss.
And we know Noxious is he loves playing control. All of his decks are very control heavy.
Pansy.
There goes the Queen's Guard, the typical BM, of course.
Built-in BM whenever they...
Nice play by Noxious there, banishing 1 of the Queen's Guard from the game. That's actually very impactful. It takes a lot out of the combo, actually. Denies the Operator.
It does take a lot out of the combo, but the Operator is also, you can look at it as more of an insurance play. Should there be, you know, Cyprian Wily or something that messes with your graveyard, at least you can still keep your 3 Queen's Guards in a lot of matchups. Like I said, Monsters is a little tougher for King Bran. But in this case, it's a fairly strong matchup. You can get so much burst out of a single card with the King Bran deck. So it makes the card advantage just a little bit less important against a deck that thrives off of it, which is Scoia'tael. A very easy way to get that card advantage.
Actually looking to Althor's Thunder, the Shieldsmith. Really debating what to do there. Didn't have a clear play in his eyes. Because the reason why he's not playing the Elven Mercenaries is because he has a chance to pull a Scorch with them, and he would Scorch his own Cyprian Willy there.
Yeah, lots of Scoia'tael lists do run Scorch. Scorch is a mirrored effect, though. Whatever unit is the strongest unit on the board will go. And in this case, it would be, and if any of those numbers line up, in this case, you know, if there's like a bunch of 7s on the board, or in this case 2, they would both go. Scorch would be a wash in this case, but you want to get the most value you can out of that card. And sometimes it can trap you. We've seen it already in the tournament, Scorch being a little bricked in some of the hands here.
Yep. Definitely gonna wait out for it. As he drops Wild Boar of the Sea, targeting the Dull Blathanon Archer and avoiding Cyprian Willy. Very smart by Peter there to make sure that Scorch cannot be used against him.
We've seen control play such a huge role in this tournament,
Yes.
but Scoia'tael generally doesn't put a lot of, you know, with the exception of something like a Hawker Smuggler, let's say, not a lot of units get placed on the board that are ongoing threats. So controlling is really just that strength removal.
I think Noxious is really considering the mid-range shackles on the Roach, and that is exactly what he's going to do, apparently. And that's a very solid play, being able to deny that. You've already used Cyprian Willie, so you know you're not going to be able to target it. And being able to lock Roach against Skellige is very important. You're denying a lot of value, but he's going to take his
Let's
time.
enjoy the weather while we still
Absolutely.
can.
Roach does grow with all other units in base strength, coming out as 5 whenever a gold card is played in the 3rd round.
And that 5 makes a difference.
Yeah. And in case you're curious about the Queen's Guard, when you lock a card, you do nullify the effect on the card. However, Queen's Guard is influenced by other Queen's Guards, so locking a Queen's Guard doesn't prevent it from coming back in this situation.
Exactly. Noxious with the 11 strength lead over Peter right here. Peter really debating what to do. Has several options. The Coral does not really provide him with much value at this point. He has to really debate what. Like, he could actually just... I wonder what Althor's double cross will pull, actually.
Well, we can take a look here. Ascertain the highest strength unit here. Operator is almost always the target
I
here.
believe, or a Shieldsmith.
Yeah, Ulderic competes with the Armorsmith and Shieldsmith.
Yeah.
You'd be fine with the Shieldsmith on a Queen's Guard, but you probably wouldn't want to risk losing your Armorsmith, although with Skellige being able to influence their graveyard.
Ooh.
Coral coming down, I would say early, and for far, Scoia'tael doesn't play a ton of units, so the maximum value of Coral is sometimes limited in this matchup, but that may have been early.
Yeah, maybe a little bit
Have
early
strength,
here.
my love.
Our Mercenary into the clear skies. He's debating whether it's enough value or not. It is technically a 7 strength play, I believe, at this point. Because Roach was already damaged prior, so he's going to rally instead. I like that. I like that approach much better. He's going to buff the Queen's Guard, actually.
You might as well make that unit useful. It's the only time you're going to get use out of it by buffing it, as it's generally just a 3 strength bronze, basically representing a turn.
Yep.
In the game. Not going to probably get ahead with that card, but
Give it a little bit of value. You know, to divert your strength and direct it somewhere for later rounds. That's why Verhead Dragoons were so great.
Now, the Verhead Dragoon actually gave PPD a lot of information. What PPD would have seen on his end is all the units that could be buffed by that Dragoon, and the only unit that would have shown up would be the Skeleton card.
There it is. He ended up pulling the Shieldsmith with the Althor's Double Cross. Does take 3 strength in the lead over Noxious.
PPD can put Noxious on a lot of cards right now because of that.
Noxious still has available to his leader, his leader's ability available to him. So he can fish for a silver card. And he's going to go with that now. He's got several options.
4 choices,
Go
looks
like.
like.
Yeah, that's a very good pull. And he does end up getting the Elven Mercenary. Very
There's
nice.
the Scorch.
And the Scorch. Wow, what a swing for Noxious. 12 strength in the lead. And also thinning his deck as well. And giving Eglaze that Scorch target later down the line. Very solid turn for Noxious.
Definitely a strong piece to have in your graveyard for Eglaze later on. One of the reasons why Scoia'tael has no problem running Scorch is they can usually get much more use out of it and can play it much more liberally in the first round because they're happy to play Aglace later. Aglace in the hand gives you a lot of flexibility. And likely that was the desired outcome there. As PPD now has to make up the disparity in points here. 13 points at least.
Bow before modern
And he
Freya.
does rely on the Priestess of Freya to work for that, but this is not enough actually. He's behind, and he's dropped a card, so he can, Noxious can capitalize on him here. But he opts to go for the D-Shackles, capitalizing on the fact that he wasn't able to keep up with him. Very nicely done by Noxious.
What is it?
Like we thought, as
He
the
should
play
push
speeds
for this
up
round
here.
anyways. Yes, Saskia. This Saskia is massive. Here we go,
There
ladies
it
and
is. It's all
gentlemen.
happening now very quickly.
That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That is a 20 strength Saskia, giving him a 16 strength lead, and Peter passes immediately. He cried uncle.
That counting game on point.
Life coach style.
Noxious is going to take that round. Putting the initiative
And he
on him.
draws
What a draw.
even. Outstanding. Absolutely outstanding.
Great draw to have when you have the command of the round.
And also led his
Take his
opponent.
time here. Scorch on call with that Glaze if he wanted to actually push and be very aggressive. Milva would bounce that Queen's Guard back. Definitely not something you'd want to do, so I don't think Milva is going to see play in this round.
Yep, I agree. Definitely has to fish for Yavin. He needs to get that card advantage on him and work for the third round. He's got all the momentum on his side. As a Scoia'tael player, being able to win round 1 on equal card stage, like that's huge. That's absolutely huge.
You know, it might just be enough here with Agalese being able to scorch, and we know that because of the state of the board, PPD was forced to buff a single Queensguard with a lot of the Shieldsmith, meaning that one of his Queensguards is significantly stronger. So Scorch will find a second home potentially in round 3.
But look at that hand, Dane.
Yeah.
Sigdrifa and Ceres, he may be able to amouse him, but Noxious wants more out of him.
Absolutely, I don't blame him.
Of course, definitely. He can still win this because he can't Agalese Scorch.
Letting Skellige go into round 3 is a dangerous game sometimes. Another buff on that Queensguard.
We may see a pass here from Peter, considering that if he plays another card, he will be extremely vulnerable. Or we may just see him drop Queen Ceres here.
That would be a gutsy pass.
Yeah, very gutsy indeed.
And Noxious can close it, though, with the Scorch, right? I don't think you can pass here.
We'll see. No, I mean, obviously, but it's very rough going down so heavily. Like, limiting your options like that, he really would require those two components to have a very strong swing. But I guess the most important part is resurrecting the Queensguard in round 3. Noxious playing this deck really efficiently, though.
Playing a decent control game here, and as you may or may not know, Ceres would be converted to a silver card in the graveyard, so it could be replayed if that was the play, but I think Queensguard is representing a lot more here. The top deck could be really important, but Noxious can push all of his cards out of PPD's hand.
Yeah, he goes with that. And I think now after this, even if Noxious pushes, I don't think Noxious should keep on, you know, attacking here.
50-point lead. You could make a case. You could make a case for the pass.
Noxious does pass.
Noxious is just going to let this one go here.
+2 card advantage, man.
So Sigurdrifa can set up a very, very filthy single card play, and also the top deck could be really important here. Priestess of Freya, exactly what PPD would want. Now he can get the Queensguards out and then bring Ceres back as well with Sigurdrifa.
This man
huge.
Just always gets
That's
that
a huge
Priestess
draw.
of Freya. I mean, how many cards did he have left? Well, he had quite a few. That was a nice top deck for him.
So here comes Sigurdrifa bringing out Ceres, and then Priestess of Freya is going to... I mean, Scorch is going to do work here, but there's just so much here. There's going to be so much strength on the board.
We'll see. Here we go. Your Mother and Crone. Queensguard enters the board. And that drop, that pushes him up to,
so many
man,
points.
54, ladies and gentlemen. Can Noxious bring this back?
Scorch can only do so much for you here. Get your calculators out.
Drink this.
You'll feel better, and now it will burn you alive. She's a nice gal.
Yeah, she sounds nice.
Still 23 points to go for Noxious.
This is great. Milva brings back the Dragoon, which can actually buff the Queensguard one more time.
Yep. Will that be enough, though? We'll see.
You know, if you're counting at home.
Be enough. Yes, it is.
I think you know the answer. 19
Clutch! Noxious taking
a
it.
2-0 lead.
That was really close. Almost got out muscled there, but it came out with a victory. 2-0 against Peter. 1 win away from advancing to the finals. Wow.
That was a great matchup. King Bran.
That was excellent.
King Bran wasn't able to, I mean, King Bran is probably going to, I mean, you only can play so many games before King Bran's going to pick something up for you just because of how strong it can be. But, you know, ultimately, I thought that Priestess of Freya would have been enough there. But, you know, if you're counting at home, you may have already known the answer. But Milva being able to bounce that Dragoon back, I don't know if that actually mattered, though.
It actually did.
Did it? Was it that?
He won. It would have been a tie otherwise.
Lots of games being played tonight, folks.
It would have been a tie otherwise. That was a very clutch game, actually. Very close. He almost got a muscle there. That King Bran is very good at that, but without the likes of Morgvark to absorb Scorches, it's definitely not as amazing of a match.
Noxious, as we said before, favoring the control deck in this matchup, Radovid control, with the Ballista choice as well.
Noxious with a 2-0 lead over Peter Dagger. Noxious performing just extremely well in today's event, despite being so humble prior.
Yeah, he didn't. He wasn't sure. He wasn't sure going into this one if he had the piloting skills. But he's looking like he's showing the power of controlling your opponent's board.
But you know what? It must feel good to just say, hey, I'm gonna get wrecked, and then just sit down, concentrate, and just do your best, and no pressure on you. That must feel great. Like,
But I think the pressure might be mounting. You can see the body language here. Nox is putting a lot of effort into this one.
he's totally focused.
Trying to close the deal.
Completely concentrated on the match, and that's the key. Like I don't know. I'm very happy to see a man who was just so negative about his own upcoming performance, and he's doing so well.
Yeah, he needs to give himself maybe a little bit more credit.
Exactly.
I think a lot of the audience might also
Come on, man.
second guessing the things that they were anticipating out of this tournament. We've seen a lot of upsets.
Ooh, one of the Queensguard knocks out there.
Winner of this matchup takes on Life Coach in the
Yep.
finals.
Yep, and Noxious is only one win away. He did draw Roach in the opening hand, unfortunately, but has quite a lead, so he can actually play it here.
Yeah, you got to deal with that. You got to make sure you want to keep as much of a lead as possible, and sometimes when you have that lead, it's the best opportunity to play a low priority card like the operated Queensguard or Roach in this case. Two cards that are not going to do a lot for him.
Noxious is really debating here what to do. He does have a nice lead already, so I think it's the time to play Roach. But he may not. He may want to continue the pressure that he's applying and get even more of a lead on him. But yeah, it's a good turn to drop it. I like it. Because you can't mulligan it away. Like, eventually you're going to have to play it, so why not when you're 11 points ahead, right?
And it's absolutely fine to keep the rounds, to keep the score close, especially in the first round. You know, when you start to push, things kind of get, when the disparity goes, you know, the different options come available between passing and, you know, being too greedy. Sometimes you don't want to be ahead and to continue to play cards, as you have to expend resources to solidify a lead that your opponent maybe consider passing on anyway, so then they put themselves in the bleed out role as you continue to play cards. But when you keep that score a little bit closer, you keep that opportunity to win, the pass happens anyway though. PPD choosing to pass here.
Gonna get that +2 card advantage with Siri. Gonna try to capitalize on this. Is a strategy that we've seen Peter go for over and over again, and was actually successful against Viscera. Will Noxious go down to this?
I think that was actually great that he was able to play Roach into a pass like that.
Yep.
Considering Queensguard also in hand, you don't want, you know, you don't want to keep those cards hanging around in your hand too long. They're not going to give you anything later on.
And he's got control now. He's on the driver's seat. And looking at his opponent's hand, he does have the answer for the Lubberkin in the Clan Borkar Hunter, which is not a usual card you see. He's only a one-off in his deck, I believe, but it's definitely very good for the scenario.
He does just run one, showing the control is great when you can attach a body to that strength removal. Especially, there's a lot of great units to remove at 3, not just Lubberkin, but Lubberkin is probably something that you'd want to wait for.
Ponzi. There she goes.
Checkmate.
Now, while this doesn't prevent the Queensguard from coming back later,
it takes
a lot out.
Yeah.
Takes a lot out of them.
That's awesome. That's actually awesome. That's a great use of Radovid. Because as you said, it's not going to stop them from resurrecting, but it does reduce their base strength, so that limits their power for the last round. That is very, very good for Noxious. That was an exceptional Radovid there.
We haven't seen a ton of cards in PPD's decks that have been, you know, very vulnerable to locking, and sometimes the best way to combat lock is just put in high-value cards that do work, that don't suffer too much from lock. But Radovid has that extra added bonus of removing base strength, which is the whole name of the game with the Queensguard. You want to bring up that base strength, so sets them back essentially 3 Shield Smiths worth of work to be done here.
Drops Drusilla.
Not to mention Cyprian Wiley on one of those Queensguards as well. Control game.
Regroup.
I like the use of Blue Stripe Scout. A lot of people think that the Siege Expert is often a better choice, but
I like the Siege. I like the Siege support.
yeah, something about the Scout though. I don't know. I like. Just
I mean, it's cool because you place it on the range drill, so it relieves pressure from the Siege drill. Definitely a very nice tech choice. But I do like Siege. I like the Siege.
Regroup.
it can combat a lot of cards, and you only need 1 unit to target to get full value from it. That reminds me, one very, very powerful card that we haven't seen very much of in this matchup, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't believe we've seen, and when I say matchup, I mean the entire tournament, Yennefer Conjurer. Where's she been? Where's Yennefer Conjurer been? A top choice in a lot of decks. Very absent.
Not prevalent today. I mean, she's definitely falling out of usage compared to how prevalent she was before, but she's still pretty heavy in the meta, but I guess, hey, they just didn't rely on her.
Pansy.
They opted to, you know, you only have 4 gold cards at your disposal for each deck, so it's a tight selection process there. Don't you pester me. There goes the Clan Himley Scald, buffing up 2 Queen's Guards and giving Peter Dagger a slight lead, but he'll be able to mitigate that Noxious here by 1 point, actually. Noxious is really pressuring his opponent, trying to get a solid lead on him so he can actually capitalize, but has not been able to get that Hunter out of him.
Yeah, he's waiting on, well, I mean, obviously Noxious doesn't know that he's holding the Hunter, but he's opting to save Baron, and Baron is better the longer the round goes.
He may actually go for the botchling for the last round.
That would be great to see botchling. Botchling is the other option you get from Bloody Baron. We've seen the Lubberkin a couple of times. A snowbally card that the longer it's around increases by 3 strength to random units, but the Botchling is a 5 strength resilient unit that carries over into the next round. Another great target for the Blue Stripe Scout, which actually enables a little bit more flexibility from Baron. Get to see what that choice is going to be with Noxious here.
He does
He
go
is
for the
going for the
Botchling.
Botchling.
He does go for the Botchling, investing in the next round.
And then, oh, is he going to say this might come as a surprise? He's thinking about it?
Swagger?
Damn it. Don't like the look of this.
There we go.
Very staying humble, staying humble.
Another mistake.
I love it.
Thanks.
Yeah, great conversation.
Yeah, very.
Great conversationalist, these two competitors.
There's a perfect Hunter, but not enough to knock out the... It's good because he would have gone for the Lubberkin, he would have been shut down. This is some sort of strength for the next round, and he's not able to catch up, so he's
exactly
going to
what he
bring
wanted.
back some of that card advantage towards him. And he
Get
does
the Coral out of him.
Coral out of him. Oh, man. This is going to be tight, ladies and gentlemen, but he does have the Priestess of Freya and Ceres in hand. That's a huge round 3 for Peter. One
Huge.
card over him, too.
Really strong hand, but when you look at Shawnee and Yennefer, I mean, that's an also strong hand as well. As
That
we see the
Igni
draw,
would be
Geralt
nice,
Igni.
actually.
Geralt Igni can find a home here,
He could.
potentially.
Bow before modern Freya. Pansy.
Queensguard's coming out.
But not nearly as powerful as they could have been because of the prior route of it here.
So Ceres, when she touches down, allows for 7 strength to be
it's
removed with
war.
Igni. I think you're going to want to take
Limbs,
that.
blood and guts.
Better than nothing.
I think now she's could have opted to play that second round a little bit better. He could have actually played the Botchling first and then buffed it up with the Blue Stripes Commandos there.
Taking a look at what's possible here, I think bringing back, you want to make, well,
King of Beggars. The changes are starting, ladies and gentlemen. He pulls a
What do
medic
you want to
into a trebuchet. Look at that swing. That's Shawnee at his finest.
really interesting choice there. You could make a case that Cyprian Wiley was a fine pick as well to eliminate another Queensguard
But
from
at
the
this
res.
point, it doesn't really matter though.
Don't think it does.
It's round 3.
We are in
Bow
round
before
3.
modern Freya.
We are in round 3.
Don't you bet. Oh, he's gonna enable the Igni.
That'll do it, yeah.
Hey, listen.
No, he's smart
Listen
there.
Playing
And
around
by the
it.
way, that's
He's
a little
playing around Iggy very clearly there.
Yeah. I think that's a little bit of a visual bug. The Scald is really in
Oh, yeah.
between. It's between the two. Okay, here he goes. Chironix.
That is a visual bug. The Clan Heme Scald is actually in between the priestesses. I'm actually looking at PPD's point of view here, and it is displaying correctly.
I think that was a misplay by Noxious there. If we would have buffed everything, we would have had a. Oh, never mind. Oh, this Igni.
There, oh, this is going to be
Igni.
beautiful, and the trebuchet
Oh!
didn't stop it.
But I don't think that's enough though.
Yeah, but one turn away from that being just for
Oh,
strength. Not going to be
Ceres
enough.
with the
So
clutch
close. Such a
victory.
close game.
Wow, Queen
Such a close
Ceres.
game. PPD taking a game here.
He's not out of it,
Not
folks.
down and out yet, folks.
King Brand with the victory. Outstanding game by both players there.
As expected, these matches are very, very close.
I love him, man. Oh my lord, this is great.
And that was such a quick reaction. I mean, when you have Igni in your hand, you want to get as much value as possible. It's just not enough. Queen Ceres.
But I do think Noxious could have focused more in that second round to actually play the Botchling and the Blue Stripes Scouts. He could have used them to buff the Botchling, and
Shaking his head here.
translating that. He may be aware of that mistake. There's a lot on the line. Like, it's normal for you to mess up at this point, you know.
But I think, yeah, I mean, a little bit of advanced planning, I think. I mean,
Yeah.
the Lubberkin would have been better in a long round.
Yeah.
The Botchling would have been better.
I guess he
with
opted
Blue
to use
Stripes
it
as well.
later down. He didn't plan on using it until that moment, and I think that's what made him make that decision there.
And when the games get this close, it is about sometimes the smallest decisions when it comes
But
down
just so
to
you
a matter
guys
of 5
see,
points.
just so you guys see, there's always something you can do different. That's what's great about this game. Like, you can always look back and be like, if I would have done this, things could have been different, and that's very nice. As we see a strong open hand there.
Northern Realms
Or
against Northern
Noxious.
Realms once again.
We got the Northern Realms mirror here, ladies and gentlemen. And Nox is doing some very good mulliganing there, leaving the
focus.
Roach replace for last, because for newer players watching this, there is blacklisting in Gwent. So when you replace a card at the beginning of the mulligan phase, you are, like if you replace a bronze card, for example, you're not going to draw a copy of that card from your deck. You're making sure that when you replace that, you're blacklisting it. So the ordering of the mulligan is actually another skill set in Gwent that you need to master as well.
Yeah, it's not just about, especially when you add that extra layer of tournament play with the bans and planning that landscape on top of all of that. We haven't done a lot of talk about mulligan. Mulligan is very important, especially when you're putting your opponent on specific plays, when you're going to get the most value.
It's not random. You can't like replace, for example, a Reinforced Trebuchet and draw another one. If you replace a Reinforced Trebuchet in your opening hand, you're not going to draw it as you replace other stuff as well. So you got to learn the sequence, and I think it adds even more skill to the game, and I like that.
Absolutely. Being able to customize your hand and being a bit more sure about what you're going to draw allows you to basically, all these decisions you make ultimately play out in the long game.
Yep. Dandelion lead there by Noxious. Does the opponent have an answer? He does have the Maritime Shackles. We may see that being applied onto Dandelion right off the bat. But then if he does that, he has a pretty clear point. Yeah, very clear Lubberkin if he does, though. Like, Peter gonna take his time and drop the Reinforced Trebuchet, and I think it's time for Noxious to get to work. He's got to get value out of this Dandelion. He's got to start playing some music.
Get that loot going. That loots. Now not locking Dandelion is basically just allowing this to continue here. Noxious looking to set up the triple Trebuchet. Here we go.
No, that's Peter. Yeah. Peter with the reinforcement.
Mistake.
Yeah, we've seen this before in the matchup against Vistra. Very interesting card that obviously. Oh, this Radovid though.
Great lock.
This is outstanding.
It's tough though. That's a tough decision to make, knowing how important siege towers are to Henselt.
Yeah.
Very tough decision to make. That's a round-winning decision, but potentially could be a game-deciding decision.
Noxious needs for these Trebuchets to connect onto the siege tower so he can finish them off with a ballista. So he may just be good here developing another one and trying to hope that the pings hit it, because all he needs is one ping on the siege tower and then the ballista can pick it off. But he's gonna have to go with the Reaver Scout instead to generate even more strength. Radovid versus Hansel, ladies and gentlemen. Who will come out on top here? Again, Noxious is 2-1 right now. He's one game away from advancing to the finals, while Peter has to basically reverse sweep at this point. It's not impossible by any means. Ah, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Lots of answers here. Baron just hanging out in Noxious's hand once again.
And he has another Reaver Scout for another ballista, so if the pings happen again on one of the siege towers, like if he opts to redirect one here, then he can knock it out again. And Noxious is very, very adamant on making sure. Oh, this is the Geralt Digny, though.
Geralt Digny
is massive.
You'll take that any time. 16 strength being removed from Noxious's board and the Trebuchets. And I was about to say that it's often very favorable to play Bloody Baron, get that Lubberkin going with the Trebuchets ticking. Sometimes you can make a very comfortable pass. Your opponent just can't compete with all of that strength being applied without any more action from you. But with those Trebuchets gone, I think that might change that line of thinking.
Geralt Digny also buffing up the reinforced siege tower, so it is no longer vulnerable to a simple ping plus a Reaver Scout combination. Noxious is going to have to work much harder to deal with it, and also has the potential to generate a tremendous amount of power here, so he needs to be careful. Perhaps that, even though that was such a clean hit with Radovid, maybe not going for the reinforced siege towers was a mistake, but at the same time it was just so tempting. Like, you see a reinforcement to reinforce Trebuchet, like they're there waiting to get locked, it's just... he pulls out the ballista. Gonna target the, I would target the reinforced siege tower, even though it's rather obvious.
Looking to remove as many units as possible.
That's
Nasty wounds, those, but you'll live.
Here comes another siege tower out.
Oh boy, this is trouble.
Siege towers are super threatening. Obviously,
this is a problem.
Noxious did really get a lot of value out of stopping those trebuchets. 3 pings a turn it makes it hard to win the round though. But siege towers make everything difficult. They're such a strong card.
Noxious denying basically the value of Hansult, or at least reducing it. But this is going to be a strong swing regardless, because both of these reinforced siege towers will gain +2 strength for each gold unit, which means 8 for each, plus the buff from the passive. This is going to bring him up to 51, but Noxious can still keep up here.
Getting Henselt out of him, though, in round 1, while the game is still this close, is favorable, I would say.
I
would
agree.
say that's very favorable.
You can make a case for reinforced trebuchet here. It doesn't put you in the lead, actually. Ooh, that's a problem. But you could play Yennefer here and buff up your entire area, because your opponent, is not gonna get buffed by
Yennefer's
it.
huge here. Yeah.
Yennefer is tremendous.
You're
here.
probably not going to
Yennefer
get a
is
better.
Huge.
There we go.
Oh my God, this is ridiculous.
And there's no fear. There's no fear about that Cedro having all of
You
those.
crossed the wrong sorceress. Look at that.
Even though all of those
23.
ballistas are landing at 9 right now, we've already seen Igni. So there's no fear about playing Yennefer like that. putting that value.
Exactly.
Only 1 unit benefit. What a swing. What a swing that is.
Wow.
Probably the best opportunity.
Yeah, he capitalized on that. That was beautiful. What does Peter have in store for us? Not that much, actually. Wow, he could actually take down Hounsel round 1 after going for his leader's ability because of his emphasis on eliminating the bodies. Instead of focusing on trying to take down the siege towers, he focused on reducing the bodies that he could promote. And that worked out really well for him. I like Nox's approach. He has to concentrate a lot, man.
Yeah.
He has to concentrate more. He does really well when he's concentrated. He performs really well.
Don't make
PPD
me
looking
laugh.
like Siri might be his last hope here.
If you're Noxious here, I think you pass. You're 11 points ahead, and you can get Siri out of the way as well.
2 promoted siege towers growing, and still not enough for PPD.
He passes. He
And
gas it. Oh
passes.
man, he's
so
sharp.
many resources
He's
invested
sharp.
in that round.
He's sharp here. Oh, if he's able to win the round like this, oh man. How can he cover 11 points right now? I'm looking at Shani. Shani can do it, but that would be a Shani that will not see play in round 3, and that's huge.
So look at all the potential that you got out of him. You got the siege towers. You got Henselt. You're gonna get that.
Oh, he's got him all, man.
Shani.
That's tremendous.
What a heads-up pass by Noxus.
Wow, great, absolutely great.
I mean, Siri does send a message a little bit. It doesn't always mean you're out of the round, but Noxus took that as an invitation to pass right there.
This time he could work for the Bloody Bearing plus Blue Stripes Commando. Scout, sorry. This time he could make up for the mistake of the last game and try to focus on that. We'll see.
Seeing Botchling in back-to-back games would be fantastic. Carryover strength of a buff Botchling. I mean, what would you say? Like maybe 4 times out of 5 you generally play the Leverkin,
Yep.
but every now and then maybe you might.
I love seeing the
lower
Boston
than
because it's
that.
so. I mean, it does look like a fetus, but it still has feelings.
I think-
it wants to see the board. It wants to shine. Like, come on.
Well, a lot of people could probably agree that the name of the game has been underplayed cards, so Botchling definitely belongs in this tournament, I would say.
Yep.
It
Now
just-
she's leading off with a reinforced trebuchet, trying to get the most value out of it, and Peter drops Siri out of it. And because of Roach, it does give the trebuchet a target, so that's very nice. You could actually opt to go with Shivering Willow here to get Roach out of there, which is definitely worth it. Oh, he's going for it.
He's going
We
for it.
arrow in our mist.
Oh, it's like he knows what we want to see right here.
Yep. Oh, man, he's just telepathy.
But then that is the answer. You can see PPD highlighting his Dimeridium Shackles here. That does break the resilience.
But it also is a very low tempo play, so Noxious can pass on that and get more cards out of him. Basically get the card advantage back.
Yeah, Henselt gave up a lot in that first round, but he does have card advantage.
This is going to be very tight, folks. Very, very tight. We may see Noxious going all in to get some value out of Igni, actually.
That's that would be fairly reasonable. Again, he's in the driver's seat here.
He gets Roach out of there.
Oh, but he's ahead right now, though. Tempting.
But that Blue Stripes,
Blue Stripe Scout on the Botchling.
that's
He's
so
got to
great.
put his opponent on. Can his opponent
Yep,
does
he's going for it.
does
He's going for it.
have the lock?
He's going for it. He's
I
going
think,
for it.
I think you might play the lock here, but
Yeah,
still,
but if he plays the lock,
same thing you said.
Yep.
What do you want
Let's
to
see if
play?
this is enough. Not enough, because it got reduced from Radovid's ability. It's only 4 strength now. Its base strength was reduced. Oh man, that's so huge. I think this is a very clear pass for him now. Force another counter. No, I mean, no, you may want to push more, actually, because you want to get some Igni value, or maybe not.
It puts PPD in the position where he has to count on his rally being enough now.
But at the same time, you're not going to always be guaranteed to be ahead of your opponent here, so...
Yeah. That's the gamble here. Diamond
Yeah,
Shackles
it's
is
not a
ahead.
clear play.
Shawnee is tough to play, but you got to play her if
You
it's
can
the
see
only way.
Noxus. You can see Noxus there, really concentrated, really debating what to do here. Looking at his graveyard. Gwent requires a lot of thought process, ladies and gentlemen. He's, this is it. If he wins this game, he's getting to the finals against Life Coach. This is very important. Every single play here matters
Step
so
away
much.
while you can.
He tries to play some
With the
mind
emote
games.
game.
Thanks, but Noxus
No
is
thanks.
not intimidated, folks.
He did step away.
He gets the shackles, but he's still behind.
Still behind. I mean,
Still behind.
It does change round 3, but it's tough. It's
But he has
tough.
Johnny though. He has Johnny though, which is huge. Because Noxus' hand does not look all that great. Wait. Oh!
Oh, man. Has to
Okay,
play it.
okay, never
Oh,
mind.
there's the trebuchet.
Never
It's
mind.
tough.
Oof.
That sequencing. We're all with you. We're all in the roller coaster together, folks. We're all
Man.
watching it happen.
That would give me a heart attack.
We've seen so many games today, folks. The trebuchet sometimes, always,
Oh,
not
man.
considered until it happens. Always ticking.
This is tight, folks. Worthy of the semifinals of the Gwent Challenger.
Absolutely. Are you not entertained?
Unfortunately, this Igni seems to not have a proper target because he drew another gold card. That really,
Sure.
he actually, it cannot be enough.
Well, get ready for this.
Oh boy. He needs to pull a medic with that rally so bad.
Definitely helps. There's only so much Noxus can do. Igni is going to have to, it's going to be tough to find value here. Cyprian's only going to be 10. He's going to take it.
Let's see.
Yennefer is about as slim value as you can hope to get.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. He has no target for Igni, unfortunately. He has 20 points to cover.
I think Noxus is going to have to work a little bit harder to push over PPD here.
Yeah. Like, what can he pull here? Like, he could pull, like, a medic. He needs, no, I'm sorry. He needs 15 points. I don't think he can do that.
He
with
needs to
bronze.
pull a chain out here.
Yeah, he needs a chain. He needs a sick chain.
Here's the
Doesn't have
medic.
it. That's
There's
not
the
enough.
Scout.
Oh, barely.
Just
oh,
barely.
Wow.
Too bad about that girl, Igni.
Wow. We're
So
going to
close.
we're going to the final match, folks. Peter is still in it.
Place your bets, folks.
Wow.
Man, PPD in the mirror.
He just shines
His
there.
journey. He's been doing great.
He feels at home. Like, has he lost a single mirror?
I'm trying to think. If it is, it was only the one, I think.
What the hell?
If there even was one.
Folks, here we go. The last round of the semifinals.
We're jumping right into it here.
The winner of these two will advance to face off against Life Coach in the finals of today's event. I want to thank you guys for sticking around and watching this. This is a very big day for Gwent. And I think it could not have turned out any better, honestly. It's crazy.
One game away from the finals. Dagon, very strong, not banned, like we said in the previous, hold on a second. Right, in the mirror. I was trying to remember.
Yeah.
We saw Dagon a lot. We're going to see it one more time. But unlike the previous matchup, we saw both players ban monsters. Monsters allowed by both players in this matchup.
Dagon is
We know
a very powerful leader, but Igni is definitely going to see a lot of play here, like a lot of utility.
Yeah, and there's a lot of potential to deny a lot of the strategy here.
Yeah.
Radovid is very controlling. You were able to lock down.
Here playing Will, he can deny Necker.
Yeah,
too.
and the locks that Radovid can apply. Lots of great lockable units in the Monsters matchup.
Crone lead by Peter Dagger there as Noxus drops the reinforced trebuchet. And there is the Necker.
And there's the setup that the Crones afford you to do, even though setting up the Neckers is generally a very low strength plays. The Crones get you so far ahead so fast.
Grand Warrior onto the range row. Looking at his hand. He does not have an Arrakis Behemoth though. He may have to try to pull that off with the rally in his hand. As Reaver Scout is going to be applied onto the board to search for another reinforced trebuchet, I assume.
I told you so, you idiot.
Yeah, sorry, man. There he goes. Playing the Arrakis, getting those out of the deck, which is very important before playing Rally. You can't go for Rally when you still have Arrakis in your deck.
It's tough, yeah, it's tough.
Ah, there it is.
Sometimes-
Nectar denied.
You play enough Gwent, sometimes confirmation bias is definitely a part of it, but when you have a card in your deck that you don't want to see, you'll see it sometimes.
Yeah.
And it feels bad every time. So you got to play those.
Another necker!
You got to eliminate the chances for that to even happen.
But he still has Radovid available for him, but he has to be very smart with Radovid because he only gets one shot at it, one opportunity. You know where I'm going.
Only one shot.
Mob spaghetti. All right, let's see what happens here. Kick of Beggars. May pull a Priscilla or another Reaver Scout. Another Reaver Scout. I think that's going to fish the third Trebuchet. Protected from Igni because of Chipper and Willie, even though his opponent does not have it in hand. Very important to note there. Triple Trebuchet is tremendous, especially in round 1. That's 3 points he's damaging his opponent every single turn, which means that even if he passes at a certain point, he's still going to be pinging at him, which is super key.
A lot of potential with those 3 trebuchets. When you just watch your opponent's board melt before you, and it really helps. It really helps fight for the round. But Dagon in a long round, so capable of taking care of round 1. Radovid's going to make it difficult, though. I wonder if Radovid is going to land on that necker. You solve the problem twice. PPD only running 1 necker warrior, which we haven't seen. Giant Toad, I don't know if you'd be happy to play that in this situation. You wouldn't necessarily cycle either of those cards.
Yeah, you do not want to discard either of those. Definitely a bit of an awkward card there. He opts to buff one of the Reaver Scouts with the Blue Stripes Commando there. Pretty conservative play, just keeping his own pace.
Keeping the point value staggered.
Yeah.
Just in case.
There goes Dagon. Gonna go for the
We're gonna see
torrential
the
rain. Make it rain, folks. But it also hits his prone.
Yeah, that was that decision definitely.
Oh, and he pings 2 of them away.
Got him ahead, but didn't we just watch those Crones get destroyed by those trebuchets? Rain is really strong in the Northern Realms matchup for monsters. No way to clear it at this point.
I think what he's going for.
All here.
Best yield now. That's what she says.
That is what she said.
Yeah, boomba! The nuke is here, and look at that swing. Yennefer just has these tremendous swings. Such a fantastic gold. And Peter cries uncle. That's so huge for Noxious.
Yeah.
That's so huge for him. Like I said, I know I repeat this a lot, but being able to win a round on an equal card state, like not being down 1 card, is a very big deal.
And not just that, it's against Dagon, who is known for taking round 1, and also Dagon getting spent in round 1.
Yes.
Very valuable stuff.
Yep. He still has his Radovid too, which he can use in round 2, since he doesn't need that many strength-heavy plays. He doesn't plan on winning, and he can utilize that to potentially lock the neckers, for example. So it's not looking bad for Noxious at all. I don't know why Noxious. Oh, he just worried about the keep, but he can always burn it later down the line. Definitely not worth wasting a card.
Definitely, yeah. Igni is like we said previously. Monsters generally have a lot of big units sticking around. That's a single target scorch right there. Noxious can potentially be aggressive here.
He could.
Medic is a decent draw. It's really just going to be all about taking care of that carryover strength, limiting how damaging round 3 might start off for him.
Now, look at Noxious' hand and look at Peter's Dagger's hand. Noxious has a ballista. A ballista. I want to point this out because
What do you want of me?
a while back I talked with him, and he told me that Gravehack was giving him problems. I'm like, dude, what I do is I keep a ballista for the last, let's see if he remembers that conversation, actually.
Keep it. Just keep that ballista in your pocket.
And he keeps it for the Gravehack, because that could be the difference between victory or defeat here. It could be poetic if he's able to overcome his biggest fear, because the Gravehack is probably the card he despises the most. So this is huge.
It's time.
I'm sure he's not alone on that one. Gravehack is responsible for a lot of monster wins.
Yep. Ooh, dry me on Priscilla right there. But that Avalok is definitely going to give him the advantage in cards. So now Noxious has to push a lot this round to make sure that he forces something else out of him.
Real art is.
Dandelion's not bad. You have a
Dandelion is tough. It's tough not to take, I think, in that situation.
Yeah, because it's not useful as a top deck later down the line as well.
That face down card could it represents so many like how many things are in my deck that are worse than Dandelion right now?
I think Noxious has to set up the Igni soon so he can get a huge swing in his favor and actually demand a lot of cards out of Peter. But he also has to set up that Radovid to lock the Necker too, I believe.
It's comfortable though knowing that Igni will always have a target at this point.
Well, not if he Karens it.
Not if he K-Rans it. That's a very
He has to
good
be
point.
careful. He has to be careful. Monsters does have a tool to avoid that. And it's sitting in the hand of Peter right now, at the very far right. That worm will deny Igni if used properly. And he goes for it.
He's just going to take care of it right now, potentially.
He seems to be going for it. Wow, there we go.
This allows Noxious
I mean,
to.
it's the proper turn to do it because
it's a huge swing here.
Yep. 26 lead.
Potentially a great pass coming up.
Denying
Bye
Roach.
bye Roach once again.
I think this is where you pass, man. Like you don't
Such a lead right here.
you don't get rid of the Necker, but at the same time, like this is your opportunity to actually get that lead over your opponent. Like he could not have a way to get that 16 strength on him. Like I don't think he has a way to do that actually. This is the turn.
Not in one card. Gravehag.
Well, maybe Karen, but if he does play Karen, that takes it out of the equation for the next round. And if he does so before playing Necker Warrior, I believe he gets rid of all his Neckers for the third round, unless I'm mistaken.
There's a lot of setup that PPD is looking forward to with the Necker Warrior in hand hitting the Necker, but if the round...
This is the key turn to pass. The thing is, will Noxious see it?
It's a commanding lead.
He does
There it
pass.
is.
Oh my lord,
Let's see
this
how many
man,
cards has to go here.
he's on fire.
I think Necker Warrior is part of the package that and PPD has to spend here.
Wow, that was such a key pass there. So important.
It's a dominating lead with a round up.
That was, oh man, this is huge for him. He is forced to play Karen. And that means he will have no Neckers for the next round.
If he chooses to eat.
If he chooses to eat it, of course.
Doesn't have to.
Oh, he doesn't have to, actually. Oh, wow.
Karen's a pretty strong card with an Arcus Behemoth on the board.
That's true. I honestly didn't, oh, wow.
I mean,
Bath.
we knew Karen was capable of doing that, but I still think that was a pretty solid pass. You know, it's hard to,
Yeah,
it's very
yeah,
tempting when you're up around and your opponent has a card on you and you have 16 points ahead.
He has no more Neckers, actually.
Absolutely not.
He wasn't able to play the Necker Warrior. He has a dead card in his hand, too, with the Necker Warrior. He's actually going to play Toad to, I think Peter has to play the Giant Toad and discard the Necker Warrior here. He has to do that.
We're going to see what he cycles out if that.
But I like him. He obviously has to play the Arcus Behemoth because he needs to get as much strength as he can out of these consumptions because the Giant Toad does consume what it discards. So nice play there by Peter. This is going to be very tight for both players. Noxious is holding up to that Ballista, though.
You could make a case for the Giant Toad cycling the Necker Warrior or the Ekamara. The Necker Warrior.
It's Radovid.
Well, I guess it doesn't matter
It's
now.
Radovid,
It's
it's huge.
locked up.
Wow.
Necker Warrior being the clear choice now.
What does he draw? He picks up a Ran Warrior.
Ran
Oh,
Warrior.
man, the engine is over, though. He relies on that Grave Hack. The question is, will Noxious use the Ballista too early, or will he overcome his nemesis?
Well, you know what beats you. If you've played in ladder and you've played big on a lot.
He
you
hates
know
that card. He hates that card. And he's been complaining about it for so long. Will he see it? Will he, like, preserve the Ballista? This would be, like, so poetic for him. Like, it would be such a... Like, imagine overcoming your most hated card.
Look at this chain right here.
The final... Like, that would be
Massive.
crazy. That's massive chain, yep. Ran Warrior enters the board.
That Ballista's the
Ekamara.
key to victory. Careful.
Oh, he's going to
Boy,
play it.
He might do it.
Oh,
He does
no.
do it. We'll see. We'll see if that costs him. I mean, the game is pretty close, but that Grave Hack represents a lot.
Oh,
of strength
he could fall down to it again. Oh man, that would be that would be the worst for him. Oh,
right now. Still really tight.
very tight, but that Grave Hack is way too strong.
It's strong. There is an extra card here, but I don't know. It's gonna really. We're gonna have to see how this medic performs.
This medic has to pull something very powerful. Oh man.
This medic has to be
What do
filthy.
you want of me?
Oh no, but it consumes before it triggers, right?
Can't look at the grave. We can't look at the graveyard right now.
No, I think it is. Oh no! Wait!
Whoa!
Wait! Yes!
Not over.
And
There it
he's
is!
got it!
There it is!
And he's
That's
got
what we
it!
came here to see,
Are
folks.
you kidding me?
What a finish! So
Are
tight.
you kidding me?
Edged out by
Wow.
a point in the same series that we saw a draw.
This is crazy. I thought we were having another draw.
You gotta wait till
Wow.
everything is said and done. Fantastic. What else can you ask for?
Oh, man.
Matchup. We had a draw at the very beginning. We had a regame for the first game. I'm trying to process everything that just happened in this entire series here.
Oh, man.
We were all holding our breaths with that ballista going, did the Grave Hag know? And it was down to 1 point. Noxious is able to defeat PPD, the person a lot of people thought, okay, he's here for fun, let's see how he does, and he is going to the finals against Life Coach. This is what it's all about, folks, and this is only the first official tournament for Gwent, so congratulations. I'm so thrilled for Noxious, and I'm sure he's thrilled as well. Let's go ahead and see what he has to say. He's standing by with Maud right now.
Thanks, Josh. I do have Nox here. My goodness, what a match. I believe, all in all, that was over an hour of gameplay. How are you feeling?
I'm actually exhausted. Jet lag already caught up with me earlier during the day, so now I'm just literally dead. Yeah, that was long.
Oh dear. So the draw war is happening. Obviously, the first match, Monsters mirror match happening there. Did you kind of like the fact that you had a draw so you could collect your thoughts, or was it just another match that would be drawn out longer and longer?
I think I made a few misplays in that matchup specifically that ended up costing me the game, but it's also very volatile. I even had the advantage of starting, first, I think, in the matchup, which maybe the second time matters a lot. Starting first isn't too bad either, in the Monster Mirror match specifically. Now, at the end there, I was pretty sure there was no Grave Hag in the deck since I hadn't seen it in the previous match, and I thought maybe he wouldn't be running it, and I thought, even if he plays it, we talked about forfeiting earlier if you were, behind, if you were going to play it out. And since he was playing it out, I assumed he won. When I saw the Hag, I thought, that's it, I'm done. Because from my calculations, I thought I was okay, but then it was by 1 with the Trebuchet, which came back, so.
By 1 point only. PPD, obviously, quite an admirable adversary there. Is that surprising for you?
Not really, no. I mean, despite the fact that we both misplayed our fair share during the games, and there's no secret there, we're not professional Gwent players to the extent that some of the guys that went through the qualifier are. I still think he put probably the second most time in the game. I think Life Coach put the most preparation, then PPD definitely did, and then Trump and I kind of were on the lagging behind for that.
So going into the finals against Life Coach, knowing that he likes to take his time, do you think you're going to switch up your gameplay style?
I mean, there's nothing really to it. If his lineup, is good versus mine, then there's nothing I can do. Plus, I haven't made perfect decisions yet. I don't think that's going to happen, and Life Coach is extremely good at narrowing down the possibilities. So I'm going to give the finals to him, probably, if I had to make a guess. But I'll try.
If we could finally see your final form and you could evolve into Obnoxious, what would you like to say? What would you like to say to Life Coach?
Well, I'm just glad to play him, really. There's really nothing else to it.
Well, it's a guaranteed $20,000 going in, could be $60,000. The finals are happening. This is super exciting. Well done, Nox. Great game indeed. Josh, let's get these finals happening. I'm throwing it back to you.
All right, thank you, Maud. Let's wind the clocks back to about an hour ago when we first started this series and take a look at these monster decks and go through all these replays and all these big moments that happened. Now, first of all, we saw some big monster combos. We saw some old spear tip being used as well in his asleep mode.
Very efficient use too, playing it right next to the Brand Warrior, so it would consume it and he will not drag it to the next round, and also buff up his potential keep. Very smart usage of a very, powerful silver, and definitely very strong in the mirror there.
And here's, I believe this is probably the tie. Is this the tie round, possibly? All monster mirrors look the same sometimes.
Well, there's that Grave Hag. There's that Zoltan Givet.
The parrot coming out. This was great.
This is awesome.
We're all in the seat together here.
And just a continual
that
back and forth between these guys. And there it is. There's that card that we've seen so much today.
Like that, that's
this
crazy.
was the best.
That was crazy.
And there's a draw. Now, because it was a draw, it was a regame, so the guys replay the game with the same decks. And we continued on through the series. But that was the first draw that we saw out of the whole tournament today.
And I would have bet that we wouldn't have seen one. Draws are so rare, so the fact that we've gotten to see, and I said earlier during the game, we've really gotten a chance to see everything. Spear Tip with that huge swing once again. Spear Tip got a lot of work here, a lot of great swings. We saw Igni, Grave Hag, Spear Tip, all these cards that just shift the score completely, flip the table around.
And then we saw Milva getting played a little bit here. We saw some
This is
Scoia'tael.
20 strength Saskia.
There's some Saskia.
20 strength here. Tremendous swing. Like, just you don't really expect much more value out of Saskia. That was monstrous.
No.
I loved Queen Ceres and the Queensguard strategy. It proved to be quite the successful archetype for Peter, actually, and he's the only one that brought it.
Only one who brought King Bran for sure. Like we said, we've seen a great spectrum of leaders here, and King Bran can be dangerous, and got him a win. He got a chance to complete the victory.
Clutch too.
This was
So
this was
clutch.
so
was
good.
huge. This is where
Buffing-
Milva really
This
came
is
in.
awesome.
Buffing the
This is
Queensguard's
awesome.
perfect here.
This is amazing.
Boom, 40. I see your 36 and I raise you 40. Good day, sir.
If it wasn't for that build, that would have been
Yeah.
another draw.
Yep.
Replaying the Dragoon, and the entire time PPD knowing exactly
There's
what was
that
being
Igni.
buffed.
So clutch as well, man.
You got to take what you can get, and you take 14. I
But
think.
then Queen Sarah is coming in and taking it back barely for Peter. That was these games
These
were
were so
crazy.
close. They were
That
so
Roach.
close.
That Roach always coming in handy when you play that gold cards.
Roach in almost every deck we've seen, by the way. Maybe the most popular silver card potentially.
It's a great companion.
Great companion, always there with
Makes
the
the difference
Great
a lot
companion.
of times. It really does.
saw
That
some-
little boost.
Yeah, definitely that boost. We saw some Northern Realm deck play here, and one thing that you guys definitely touched on was the good decision-making of when to pass by Noxious, and that's
Yes.
one of the key points
Yes.
in Gwent. You have
Here's
to
the
know
moment here.
when to go for the kill or when to hold back and win the war.
That little trebuchet that could, taking that last sliver, that last little bit. There, that was an expensive ping.
Yeah,
let me tell you.
we're going to have to gather our thoughts and take a little bit of a breath because, ladies and gentlemen, we are mere minutes, possibly an hour, depending on how long the series will take, from crowning our first Gwent champion. The finals will be Life Coach from Germany versus Noxious from Canada. You don't want to miss it. Stay tuned.
It is time for the finals. This is the most exciting part of the very, very long stream, and we are so grateful that you've been sticking around for this, supporting your favorites. I've got Life Coach, I've got Noxious here. These are who will be competing against each other for the grand prize of $60,000. That's exciting. Guys, you've actually spent quite a lot of time in quite a few rounds seeing and feeling out your decks, kind of getting an idea of the competition here. It all comes down to this. Nox, you've been playing a lot of games here. You've been playing for a very long time. Are you kind of in a good zone right now to go in to take out the finals?
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, it's going to be tough because I think Life Coach was one of the best players in the event as a whole. And I said that about Pro Neo. Nerves got to him, which I think is responsible for a lot of the slip-ups that happened. But Life Coach's nerves are made of steel, and I don't expect any misplays on his part that are going to be easy to capitalize on.
Nox has been a little bit of an underdog here, and he's been completely dominating his rounds, even though that last one was tight, but you did get through, and that's all that matters. What are you thinking about Nox as a competitor now?
Well, I mean, he has some competitive experience from past, so I'm pretty sure he won't be too nervous, so I also don't expect more misplays on his part at all.
Now, you were saying it'd be quite a coincidence and quite nice to see him back in the arena, but for a different card game this time. Is this quite a nice experience knowing that you're back against an old foe?
Well, I never really played, highly competitive Hearthstone, so mostly I commentated Life Coach's game, so it's kind of an honor to play against him in another arena than the game we usually comment on, so. Yeah.
That's really exciting then. With parting knowledge though, I mean, this is going to be a very, very determined and premeditated game, I feel, especially since you like to play the card fast and you like to play the card smart. Which one do you think is more important in this last round?
Fast doesn't mean not smart.
You're schooling me again, my man. I'm learning a lot. I don't have my notepad out, but this guy, I tell you what. You got any parting knowledge as well?
Yeah, fast just means impulsive, and that is bad.
Got it. There you go. Well, the finals are happening right now. This is where it all counts. So guys, take your seats. Best of luck. Honestly, this could be an amazing match. I'm excited. Josh, with this though, I'm going to put it back to you at the desk to take over.
All right, Man, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. We are going to know who will be the first champion of Gwent. Will it be Noxious from Canada or Life Coach from Germany? Let's go ahead and take a look at the bracket and see the journey of these two players as they get set up for their match. It was Life Coach that defeated Okimuna and then Fion56 and is now waiting in the finals against Noxious. Noxious defeated Pro Neo and then went on to face PPD and won by 1 point in the final battle. Congratulations to him. This is going to be a big finals. And gentlemen, I have to say, I did not predict a Life Coach versus Noxious finals.
I did not either. It was just tremendous. Like, I think nobody really did. This is what's so great about today's tournament is that a lot of unpredictable things happened and a lot of epic moments. And I think if there's one lesson to learn from this is that, skill is important, experience is important. Obviously, all these players have that, but also staying calm under the pressure and, being able to be cold-minded and analytic is also as important. And these two players, I think, are the most they've shown that more than anybody else, and that's why they're here.
And that was a really exciting best of 5. But if you think the excitement is over, this is going to be a great finals match. I'm expecting the same level as everything else. Every match, it seems like, has been getting better and better, and it's only fitting after this journey that we get to witness this. It's been a long road here, and I'm just as excited as all of you to take a gander at this final match.
Well, gentlemen, thank you for commentating the entire tournament. It's been quite a marathon. Your voices are hanging in there, and our audience is still hanging in there as well. We have seen the evolution of Gwent since the release of Witcher 3, seeing it as a mini game, and the crowd, the community wanted something to happen with this game. CD Projekt Red heard their voices, and today we get to have a celebration, not only of seeing a tournament for Gwent, but also 10 years anniversary for the Witcher series. We're waiting just for the final verifications from our players to know that they're ready. Let's talk about some of the structures we've seen with some of these decks. We talked about Pro Neo and his nerves and some of the decision making that happened in his matches that maybe have not been the best. And that's a factor that's different compared to playing in the
Exactly.
comfort of your own living room, you know. And gentlemen, you've been able to stream and commentate games over the last couple months from the comfort of your own living room and seeing these players compete through the qualifiers and make it this far. However, every single time these players play in front of a crowd, in front of a main stage or on camera, it's experience that allows them to get better and better and better. And I foresee that many of these players we see today will continue in their careers here in Gwent.
For sure, it's only the beginning for them. They should take this as that, a learning experience. This is not going to be the last tournament of Gwent. I think this is actually going to be the first of many, because the quality of games that we've seen today, the excitement, honestly, this just exceeded my expectations, and my expectations were already quite high. So this event could not have turned out any better, and this final is going to be tremendously hype. In my
And I mean, yeah, we're talking about the comfort of our living room. Check out the set; it's very comfortable, it's very warm, and you know, it's not too unlike the comfort of the living room. But these players are taking this very, very seriously. It's not their first time to the big stage. Somehow combining that comfort and electricity here as we go into this first match here.
And it looks like the players have chosen their first decks. They have chosen what will be their first weapons here on the field of battle. This is the finals for the Gwent Challenger.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We have Ruge versus Hansult. A very interesting matchup. This is the deck that has been making quite a name for itself today. Life Coach's Hansult deck with Vest, Blue Stripes Commandos, and Poor Infantries. A lineup that seemed odd to a lot of people, but has been performing exceptionally well today.
Yeah, I love, you know, every time we see the deck, I just remember, yeah, that's right, this deck is in this tournament. We get to see it again and again, and I don't believe the deck has lost. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It has not.
I don't think it has.
Not. It is undefeated.
And Vest has come out in all of those games as well.
Yeah.
So, but once again, we're seeing Noxious with his control-heavy list against, and this is Life Coach's list is probably more of, you know, it's pushing for big score. It's a bit more of greed-based. You might say it might be a more greedy deck. So when greed clashes with control, you're always in for a great match.
It's important to note, though, that Noxious does not have the Meridian Bomb in his lineup. So Hansult, the Siege Towers, if he does not tackle them at the proper time, could very well mean the demise of Ruge, because if you cannot control the power of Siege Towers, they just cannot really match that strength. So it's going to be very interesting to see, because Noxious has been very focused on dealing with the threats immediately every single time, and he needs to keep that mentality in this game, making sure he disrupts every single play Life Coach makes, because this deck relies heavily on combining cards and setting up for that huge power.
And can we just draw attention to how Noxious was talking about that tunnel vision? Look at the body language of the two players. You can clearly see that Noxious has been taking this advice and how he gets to actually use this against Life Coach. Fantastic.
It's like, I don't want to hear
narrative.
anybody. I don't want to see anybody.
Siege Tower coming out first right away, trying to capitalize on getting as much power as possible out of that Siege Tower early on, or perhaps tempt the removal that we know Noxious is running with his control-heavy lists.
I mean, he does have double medic in his hand, so that could give away to his opponent the fact that he's, you could say he's careless with this, because the fact that he has two field medics in hand, it's actually a play that could lead. Yeah, oh man.
I mean, look at all the cards that remove strength in Noxious's hand. He's throwing an Alzur's Thunder, 2 Archers, Bran, which is actually a great pick, and you could use this liberally. If 4 strength might be all you need to take care of a Siege Tower. On top of that, Yorveth and Saskia.
There's the Bloody Vodka, as he is going to bring out the Lubberkin turn 2. Buffing up the Siege Tower by 2 points again, even though it is vulnerable to another Archer, but he has to select his priority here. Do you target the Lubberkin or the Siege Tower? I think the Lubberkin is the prime target because it cannot be resurrected once it goes down.
Yeah, I think the Alzur's Thunder or Yorveth can back you up if the Siege Tower unexpectedly takes a turn for the worse here, but, you know, with all of these control options, like, Noxious can just keep eliminating threats, and you know, that's what he's been really good at. We saw in his matchup with Peronia how he's able to deal with those Savage Bears, and a lot of these snowbally cards control always take have a really strong and favorable matchup in this case.
Noxious has been very good at saying no immediately to those threats that can get out of control later down the line, and that is what has made him make it this far in my eyes. He's been very sharp in that sense and has been using this control scoia'tael very efficiently. Life Coach is definitely going to try to get the advantage with these Siege Towers, but it's going to be tricky. It's going to be tricky because Noxious is not going to allow him to set up for free. Picks up blue. Oh, okay, not the greatest pick there. So hey, now we're seeing the Vest strategy at not his greatest situation, not getting Vest right off the bat and pulling a Blue Stripes Commando early on. So let's see how this deck can perform under a not so, you know, desirable lead.
I mean, it's not the perfect situation to see your Blue Stripes Commando, but the good thing about Blue Stripes Commando is by itself, it's actually fair. I think Blue Stripes Commando is a card that hasn't changed very much, if at all, throughout the story of the game. And there was times where, you know, some of the older lists would rely on Blue Stripes Commando to actually get a lot of strength and be a stable core unit. Vest just makes the card a little better, for sure, especially in this lineup. But this time, Vest not in the opening hand here.
Enough of this farce.
Hunting the tower, I assume. Or the blue. Ooh.
Interesting choice.
Interesting choice there by Noxious. I think he could have perhaps targeted the Siege Tower. But then again, it doesn't ultimately matter because we do see double field medic in the hand of Life Coach. But the question is, do you go for the medic and resurrect that Blue Stripes Commando? Or do you preserve that for something different later down the line?
Now, I think that this is a fantastic mulligan by Life Coach. He kept, you know, he kept the medics. He wasn't afraid of keeping the medics in hand because he understands probably that Noxious has been running a removal game and a control game for this entire tournament. So it's more and more likely that there would be a Siege Tower to bring back in the first round. And even though the field medic brings back a random bronze unit, it's more likely to pick when the graveyard is nice and slow.
Oh, I like this timing for the promote. Yes, he goes for it. Promoting the Siege Tower, it can no longer be removed because he opted to not take it down. Now Noxious has no way of dealing with that. It can get completely out of hand. This is huge because every single source of removal in his hand cannot hit gold units.
That is the one weakness here. I think it's possible that Noxious didn't anticipate that actually occurring until later, perhaps leaning on that Alzur's Thunder to be the solution for the Siege Tower, allowing himself to perhaps, you know, take that opportunity to remove the Blue Stripes Commando and just stay ahead on points. But now the longer this round goes, it could be very devastating. We see Yennefer in hand. Yennefer alone is quite strong, and of course Henselt, you know, as the cards increase and more opportunities happen here.
We see Noxious there debating what to do. It seems like he's going to drop Milva.
Gives him another removal option back here with the Archer.
Yeah, and he gets more value out of it and returns Roach to the hand of Life Coach. So I think Life Coach, as of now, can just drop Roach again because he does get in the lead. And he can actually drop it in the melee row to basically empower his Henselt and the tower later down the line as he can aim for that row with, because he does have medic, poor infantry, and blue stripes in the graveyard, so he can really stack on that row. But he has to go with the poor infantry instead, preserving that Roach for later perhaps.
The thing about poor infantry and Henselt, I mean, like running field medics and running siege tower is obviously very, very strong, but Life Coach opting to use Blue Stripes Commando and stuff like Poor Infantry instead of Trebuchets. Poor Infantries can actually clog up the graveyard, so if you're hunting for a Siege Tower with your medics, all three of those Poor Infantry go into the graveyard and individually can be pulled out for medics. So your Siege Towers, the promote now, when you think about it that way, promoting, I don't think that was early at all.
Oh, without a doubt, it was a very key promotion there. I think it was super key.
You got to get as much value out of your Siege Towers as well if you can't count on them coming back a second time or a third time or a fourth time.
They can hide, but there is
Life
no
Coach
escape.
really banking on the fact that his opponent is not running the Maritime Bomb to shut that down, as we see the opponent rally into a Archer after the Elven Mercenary. Noxious getting a nice swing there, but still not quite enough to get in the lead. We're going to see
What do
Field
you
Medic
want
being
of
developed
me?
here. That was a 50% chance. He obviously wanted to get the Poor Infantry, because knocking that out, actually, like, that's... Poor Infantry has very good synergy with the Field Medic, even though it does disrupt potentially the resurrection of the towers. If you remove one of the infantries, like, you can gain, you know, another 9 strength with the Field Medic, which translates into a 13 strength bronze play.
Yeah, Noxious doing what he can to control the row here. Henselt, you know, it's all very apparent. Henselt is yet to be activated, and there is a Siege Tower that has already been promoted to gold status, so it's only a matter of time before Henselt's able to skyrocket the strength of that nigh invincible unit to out of reach for the round. So Noxious has been trying to remove as much as he can. He doesn't want to get full value, just want to see full value from Henselt. But at what point might you pull the trigger if you actually wanted to Henselt here to win the round? Are you satisfied with 4 units?
No, I think Life Coach likes going big with it. He likes going for the 7 value max of Hansel, because Hansel does have a cap.
Now let them dangle.
Brain to eliminate. I mean, Noxious, like I said, Noxious does not lose or waste any sort of time removing the components of the combo, and that's what you have to do against Hansel. You have to be quick, snipe down their threats, and make sure that you take as much strength as you can out of Hansel. But we're gonna see another field medic being summoned here. Very key by Life Coach, as you said, with his mulligan, preserving all this resurrection. Definitely working out really well for him here as he resurrects yet again another poor infantry. And there we see it, man. 7 targets.
Yeah.
7 units. There it is.
Now, it's been difficult. Noxious probably struggling a little bit. We saw Brand being played at 4. Generally, one of the better targets to buff with your Vrid Dragoons in hand, but no Vrid Dragoons to be found in his hand. You could only really count on perhaps rallying one out with an Elven Mercenary pulling a first light, but that's a lot of stuff to lean on. So taking as much advantage out of it, but it proved to be for naught as Life Coach was still able to secure 7 units here. And it's going to come down to, it will be very hard to beat the Siege Tower, I think, in this instance here. Noxious is going to have to make some pretty sound judgment on when to play and when to pass. Decent board for Saskia, though.
Saskia, but that doesn't stop the ridiculous Hansel Valley here. We know exactly what Life Coach is going in for now, and believe me, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be worth more than just 10 strength. Oh, this is going to be crazy.
I mean, it's not a sure
go for
thing,
it now.
but
He has to go for it
it's
now.
the best time to do it.
Yeah, it's the best time, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this. Look at this. Life Coach is standing at 66. What a swing. Takes an 18-point lead over Noxious. And he is holding on to the Yennefer there as Noxious drops a Yavin. I think this is Life Coach's cue. There's the pass right there.
Yep, Yavin definitely signaling that he has had enough of the gold Siege Tower. It wasn't so far, but it was far enough for sure, especially when we can look at the hand here. That's a lot of special cards.
Yeah, and that buffed up Blue Stripes Commando. It got buffed up twice by the summoning of the first one and then the resurrection there. It's a 9 strength unit now, and we'll buff up the other Blue Stripes Commando in the deck up to 11. So kind of some chain buffing going on here. We're seeing Blue Stripes Commando being applied without the synergy of Beth, and it's pretty interesting because it's been a while since this card has seen play. And here it is at the finals of the Challenger.
Here it is. Nox is still unable to find a Vrid Dragoon for his hand. The rallies are going to have to be played to start digging. But of course, he still has to take this round as well.
I think a Life Coach has to make use of the second round to drop Ruge onto the board. Like, you have to do it eventually. Why not in the round that you plan on losing anyways? Even though he does want that huge swing and strength, but you can't keep Ruge in your hand, really.
He might pass for the card, but he'd also go into this round. Getting your cards back against Scoia'tael can make the difference sometimes.
Life Coach
there.
opted to develop.
You called it. There's a Roach potentially. There he is.
Yeah, it is.
Officially. So it's kind of a tough decision here. You want the Dragoon. Oh, it's going to opt for Brewer.
Going for the Brewer. Ah, there it is. Sipping Willie. Oh, he's going to go for the King of Beggars, actually.
Could delete Roach, but I think, yeah, you might be able to get a little bit more.
I think Sipping Willie's too good here. You got to go for it. Yep.
Poor Roach. We've been seeing it all day long. We've been seeing it all day long.
It's not meant to be. It's not her event. Next challenger, she'll shine. Ah, nice. The neek there by Life Coach. Getting Siri!
Nice draw.
That's huge.
This allows Life Coach is in a dominating position with that draw.
That's huge.
Huge draw.
That's such a good draw. By the way, preview to Siri. Outstanding. I love her.
Faves. One of my favorites. They're all so good.
I've had enough.
So good. Yield and save me some time, she says.
There goes the second rally. Noxious trying to fit into his deck. Gets another Dragoon there, investing to the next round. So he's actually playing, like he's also investing the next round himself. So, solid plays there by Noxious. This is a key time to use said Dragoons.
And it's good that he's finally seeing him here so he can get, that's a really powerful card, Dragoons, and allows a lot of swing in the end game of the third round. He definitely needed that. He only had 2 units left to buff, and the Vrid Dragoons coming out late without any potential targets is not what you want. But we did get a chance to see this. Life Coach is sticking around here.
He's still
trying to see probably
him.
as many cards as he possibly can
The
from
storm is
Noxious.
coming. Let's enjoy the weather while we
Manticore
still
Venom
can.
only getting 4 value there, but he has enough lead that he doesn't really have to worry about, staying behind his strength at this point, I believe. But that Yavin is disrupting the Scorch of Noxious.
Yeah, that really makes Scorch hard to play here. playing Spice against Scoia'tael is probably one of the better strategies. You know, in a landscape dominated by Scoia'tael, you can really kind of lock out the Scorch by giving your opponent that strong unit.
I think Life Coach you could make an argument here for going for Promote, even though that could mess up your combo later down the line, but I like that play quite a bit.
He's going for it anyway.
Yep, he's going for it. He wants more cards out of Noxious here. Going heavy into, I mean, he has a Shani. The less cards his opponent has, the more powerful Shani will be.
Shani is one of the best cards to play at the end of the game as a last card, as she can make so much happen, and we've seen a lot of filthy combos come out of Northern Realms, Medic Chains, and all sorts of stuff, and Shani can make a lot of it happen, being able to resurrect and promote silver cards and bronze cards alike. And of course, generating extra gold cards, Henselt does not mind.
The clock is ticking right there for Noxious. Really debating what to use. I guess he's going to Althor's Thunder his own Yavin.
He has to stay in the round. He's forced to play these cards, and that 13 strength archer, you know, it could be his final hope here.
A negative
He could have
7 strength
afforded
play.
to play the Scorch, though. He could have afforded to actually Scorch the Yavin, but it's tough when you got to win the round. It's tough. To
Yennefer's actually huge here. Because she just
Yennefer-
goes to your honest. Oh, man. This is tremendous.
very aggressive.
13 strength lead. That forces the archer out of him. And the archer's not even enough. He made 2-0 him.
It's true because he actually can't Scorch, and the archer has nothing to hit.
There is no escape.
Shot is going to be enough.
2-0'd him. He just 2-0'd him.
Not necessarily, though. Not necessarily.
No, he just passes the here.
Well, we know. We know.
Oh, yeah.
We know.
We know. Wait for it. He's got him.
He had to.
He's got him. He can't
true.
play Scorch.
It's
It's
true.
over. It's over.
Bricked.
It's over.
It's a bricked card.
Yep.
It's a tough play. It's tough. Scorch is a tough one sometimes.
Scoia'tael being
That
Scorch
Nanika
there.
Yavin. That Nanika Yavin was fantastic.
That Yennefer taking it to him. Outstanding performance by Life Coach, going 1-0 against Noxious and getting that Hanzo win, which, hey, with or without Vess, went undefeated today.
No problem, right?
My lord, what a deck. I love it.
Fantastic deck, and you know, again, it's it's not uncommon to see Henselt on the ladder, and also not uncommon to see Siege Towers play a huge part. But you know, it's almost like combining Poor Infantry and choosing that instead of Trebuchet. Just a very unique combination. It's been working out great for Life Coach as we jump into this next matchup here. Life Coach with his Croc on Crate versus Noxious giving it another swing at it here with Scoia'tael.
Noxious really believing that its Scoia'tael control is his strongest deck to bring to this matchup, or to any single matchup. He believes it's his strongest deck, period. He's been very confident with it, and he really digs the control strategy. Definitely a control player above anything else. While Life Coach is bringing a very proactive list here, but with a lot of control mechanisms. Again, we've been talking a lot about even these proactive decks having options to, you know, be able to manage what your opponent is doing, and that's very important here. As this is looking like an interesting hand with the Gremist and the Archer, Holger Blackhand, Coral, and double. Not one, but 2 War Cries.
How do you like that Holger Blackhand in the deck here? Not a very common card to see. You know, a lot of people can make the argument that Murktebrak is a very strong silver to run, perhaps, that serves the same purpose. And Holger Blackhand is, you know, it's a starter card for Skellige. So a lot of people filter that out of their deck.
I mean, just look at it this way. Just look at it this way. Holger Blackhand is 12 strength. Murktebrak is 9 in total of a swing. So, like, technically, Holger Blackhand just gives you more. The thing is, Murktebrak is a little bit more flexible because of his ability to ping something by 1. And some people really like that. But I personally believe that Holger Blackhand, like, if in my Croc and Crate list, I run Holger Blackhand because it just has more output damage. And in round 3, it's 14 strength.
It's true, and that weather immunity is
And
also
weather immune
sometimes
too, yeah.
can be very important in some of the matchups.
Oh, definitely. Especially like in games against Skellige, for example, with Coral too, like in the mirror. It's very key. I think it's a very clever tech by Life Coach, and it just goes to show he's been investing time and really tweaking up his decks for this event. And hey, hard work pays off.
Practice makes perfect.
Yep. Yorveth denying the Raging Berserker. This is very important. Being able to knock out the Raging Berserker right off the bat denies potentially a Raging Bear resurrection in round 3, which is huge.
And we know Life Coach loves to buff that Raging Bear with the Shieldsmith, so denying that.
Yes.
I don't know, would you consider bringing it back right now with the Priestess? At least the Priestess is something that can be played in this round.
But at
the
the same
double Warcry also. The hand, I think that Noxious might actually have more
We serve
favorable
her
hand.
who is virgin.
Especially because he has an
mother
Athos Thunder in his hand as well. He can handle this again.
That's exactly what happened, and that may actually be the response here. But you know, as we've been talking about, I mean, look at all the options here. The Alzur's Thunder, the lock as well.
Indeed, he has so
Archer
many
is not
tools.
so much in this case, but yeah, definitely.
Noxious has to keep playing the way he's been playing this tournament. Answer the threat immediately. Not give Life Coach a chance. And there he goes with it. The Althor's Thunder onto the Raging Berserker. Very well done by Noxious, denying that. He's very aggressive and very direct with his Coyotel control deck, but I think that's how you gotta be to shut down these sort of strategies.
And it's great because if he perhaps anticipates that another Priestess of Freya is going to come back out and perceive, you know, that all of that is a threat, there's still backup there. Diamond Shackles would be able to do it. If Life Coach really, really wanted to do it, Sigurd Rifa can bring it back, but that's a tough card to spend. Usually that's more of a later card, allowing just a ton of strength to come out of Skellige as she's able to resurrect silver cards like King of Beggars, which pull the Priestesses. But with no bear to complete that combo, it's not quite as potent.
Exactly. This is definitely a tough turn for Life Coach. He has been shut down. This is the same thing that Noxious did over and over again to the Croc and Crate list from Pro Neo. He shut it down by immediately answering the threats, and Life Coach is in trouble right now. He's really debating what to do. He's gonna say,
Oh, he's gonna do it.
He's gonna do it. Oh man.
What a commitment.
Noxious knows how to tackle these decks. He knows how to shut them down. He understands how they work, and I think this may be a tough deck for Life Coach to get a win with against Noxious because he's been so good against it.
Well, he's been. You can make the decision here that Noxious has to make a good call here with the lock on the Raging Berserker. You wouldn't necessarily want to always use it. Oh, he's
relentless.
Life Coach is showing how important that Raging Berserker is to him by spending Sigurd Rifa in round one. Noxious is answering like, you think that's important? I'll take care of that over and over again. Let's see if you can. The best part about the lock is can't resurrect something that isn't in the graveyard. Now, lock would have denied all of this to begin with if you had planned on.
But he took
that
out
kind
all
of
the
investment.
resurrection out of me. He took
Oh,
the
yeah.
Grifa
Getting
out of
those-
him round one. That's huge.
Getting those cards out of his hand is pretty massive. Pretty massive. Lots of still avenues of victory for both players here, but it's all been revolving around this Raging Berserker and that bear.
Billion barrels of burning
Ops
pitch.
buffed up. Interesting. I guess he doesn't have a clear play here. Life Coach's game plan has been disrupted heavily.
The storm is coming. Let's
Now, Life
enjoy
Coach
the
is running
weather while
3
we
of those
still
Raging
can.
Berserkers, so we may still yet see a bear in the graveyard, but without Sigurd Rifa and limiting that resurrection opportunity, it just brings down the consistency of that, some of these explosive turns Skellige can make happen with the self-wounding archetype.
Indeed. He still does have the Crown and Crate ability with Warcry potentially, but without that Raging Bear to protect said Clown and Clay Warriors from Scorch, Life Coach is in trouble right now. Massive trouble, actually.
And once again, look at that body language from both players.
They're like brothers.
Like a homecoming, like a nice reunion of old friends here. This is it's great to see how these players are applying their strategies to this game, which we all know and love.
I like the focus. I like the determination. Noxious may be very humble, but he wants to win.
Yeah.
He wants it really bad. Don't doubt that.
Every decision could be the $60,000 question. So great to be watching this journey for all of these players and to see, to get here to the finals. It's been a long one, but a good one, man.
It's been incredible. Like this event, oh man, I don't even know what to say anymore. Like it's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Well,
For Skellige's glory!
those war cries, definitely want to get value out of those war cries. Holding on to 2. Probably want to get as much as you can out of, get one, you can play them a little bit more liberally in that case.
I think after this, Life Coach is going to plan on using the Archer to ping one of his Crown and Crate Warriors to actually make it so that both of them are not vulnerable to Scorch after the War Cry.
Yeah, Grem is currently protecting, but that wouldn't be the case afterwards.
Exactly. Life Coach with a 10
They
strength
can
lead,
hide,
though.
but there is no escape.
Opting to take that out there.
Holga Blackhand, no, Grimace is 4 base strength. Like, no matter how much damage he deals with, he can't bring it below, like, base strength and, capitalize on it with work right there. But there's the Archer, and I think we're going to see just that.
Going to stagger that strength.
Gonna hit one of the Cloud on Clay Warriors and probably 2 units from his opponent because it doesn't make sense for it to attack. Yeah, there it is. There it is.
Life Coach has a lot of power right now. Coral represents a lot too on the ranged row.
Yep.
Not to mention the, those Warcry.
There he is. Now it's an 8 and a 7. So Scorch will only kill the
Have
strongest one of
strength,
them.
my love.
And here goes the Elven Mercenary getting another
Just
Archer in there.
And the game is still,
Oh man, disrupting that.
and the score is nice and close, so passing doesn't really ever seem like an option. Both players are looking for commitment here, but I think Life Coach has a lot of swing in these remaining cards here.
Because they are.
Sasuke is no slouch though either.
Yeah, because they're already damaged. Every ounce of extra damage that he gets on these units is actually worth a lot more.
Times 2.
But he does target the Grimace instead, trying. Not sure what he's trying to do here.
Maybe he's not scared of the Warcry. Maybe he wants to see it.
Here we go. It's time. You got 2 in hand. You got to go for it now. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I know it's like he has things about every. Like he has to take his time. There's no reason for him to rush it. But this is a very clear play here. Here we go. The Warcry, ladies and gentlemen, buffing him up to 61, taking a 19 strength lead over Noxious. Noxious with a Saskia in hand though, which is a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, a 21 strength Saskia. Enough to bring him back into this. There it is. The Big Dragon. The nuke, ladies and gentlemen, Boomba. With a
Keeping
3 strength
this
lead.
game nice and close, but I think Coral might end up being, I mean, I think Noxious would be fine. Happy to see Coral played early on here. But I think that might actually be the decider here.
It
Tough to
may
beat
very
Coral,
well be.
yeah.
Yep. Especially, I mean, he does have one more Elven Mercenary. How many
Could get
routes?
that weather clear.
Yeah, he could get it. Could easily get it.
Noxious is running a fair amount of special cards, though it's not a guarantee that he would get it. There are, I mean, we've seen a lot of special cards so far, but, you know, there's always that Scorch
Yeah,
as well.
it's not a guarantee.
Wouldn't be a problem, though. Scorch would take out 15 strength from Life Coach.
Life Coach really debating here.
With that Merc in hand, I think anything is possible right now. It's really, you can't really for sure say one way or another. It's really just going to be dependent on how deep this round goes. And there's Coral.
There's Coral.
That may be amusing.
Getting Roach in the melee row and hitting him for a bunch of damage. Dropping him down to 39. That is a total of 23 strength over Noxious.
Coral did so
Everything
much
all
there.
But he's going for it, and he gets it!
He gets it.
He gets it.
That was not assured.
But he's still not up there. Will Life Coach pass here?
This is a close one right here.
I think he drops Holger Blackhand really. Like Holger Blackhand is a 12 strength play, but then he's becoming vulnerable because his last card is pretty dead. He may go for the Warcry here, which is worth 5 strength, and preserve that Holger for the. But then if he does that, he loses that potential combo for later down the line. But then again, like how much value can he get out of that at this point? You know, with like so many little options, this combo requires some setup. He does go for it. He does go for the Holger Blackhand. This is a 12 strength swing in the favor of Life Coach.
That clear weather made all the difference right there.
It did, truly did. 14 strength swing, or lead in
Noxious
favor of like.
Or sorry, like, or
Well, has he played Scorch yet?
I was looking at 2 screens at the same time. Serves me right.
Yeah, I don't think he's played Scorch yet. He's gonna fish it off with Broover Hook here, and if that's the case, that will be enough to get him in the lead.
We've hammered enough.
There it is. There's the Scorch. There's the Scorch.
That's the choice right there.
50 strength, just enough to get him ahead by 1 point.
Just enough.
Life Coach is going all in though. This is only worth 5 strength though. Will that be enough?
Archer's going to take it.
Yeah, Archer's
all the
gonna
way
take
down
it.
to the last card, round 1, fought tooth and nail.
But there is no escape.
Such a close one.
Such an intense one.
That score was bouncing around. It was so like the
Wow.
gaps just opened and closed
So close.
so quickly. So many swing cards being played.
Here we go, boys.
Is that the
round
first
2.
round one that we've seen every card in hand being played? I think that
Yeah.
might be.
Yep.
Still getting unique, still getting some unique
This is
stuff
huge.
out of this tournament.
This is huge because now Noxious makes him go first because, of course, he's a Gentleman.
That's what Storytel does.
And this is going to be very... Like, he can just open pass here. Yep.
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 No
2 cards
problem.
versus 3.
When it gets this close in cards, one card makes all the difference.
These top decks are everything. They mean everything right now. Absolutely everything. Let's see what they pick up. Life Coach is going to draw into a King of Beggars.
King of Beggars very strong.
And Milva. King of Beggars is huge, though. Immediately opening up the graveyard and see what he can have, because by looking at his graveyard, he can make, like, he
Oh,
can count
yeah.
the Priest of Freya. Oh, this is...
King of Beggars into Priestess of Freya.
Yep. he's
For
really-
sure.
Oh,
But
baby.
there's no bear. The bear was never there, but
He can.
still gets so much out of that. Let's take a nice close look at this. All the options here.
I think the best strategy still is to resurrect the Raging Berserker, and then hit it up with the Archer. Honestly.
Yeah. Milva's. Milva can still do some stuff though.
I mean, Raging Berserker makes it so that he can't like really target. Let's see what he does. This is a difficult talk here. A difficult call. Sorry.
I just want to see what he chooses.
The Raging
You have
Berserker.
a couple of art. Yeah, it's going to be the Raging Berserker, which he buffed.
But here's when Noxious relentlessness in the first round comes into play, not allowing it to transform for this round. It's so big.
Milva can bounce it back, but at quite a cost, of course, possibly too much of a cost.
Gonna drop Brain to hit the King of Beggars here.
Very tight
And that
game.
gives him a target with the Archer, but the Archer's also gonna hit one of his units as well.
The paths of victory are narrowing at this point. Now the bear, because the bear was never in the graveyard and never triggered, it's coming out at 11. Didn't
There
get buffed
we
by
go.
Shieldsmith. That buff doesn't carry over. No Skellige passive buffed it up to 13, but the Manticore Venom is just
Don't
not
you
going to
fret
be
about
enough.
me.
Milva's gonna return Brain to the hand though and pull out Ruge. Will this be enough?
So
Will that
tight
be
right now.
enough? That's. He's got a 10. It is enough.
There. Now let
It is
them
enough.
dangle.
With Manticore Venom, it's enough. He's gonna take it. Nox is gonna take the
So
second game.
close.
That Milva did it for him. That is the
Fantastic.
second game. Outstanding.
I expected nothing less.
Fantastic.
What a
Nox
game.
just brings it back.
Crowd's getting into it now.
Worthy of a finals, folks.
A maximum of 3 games remain at this point,
Yep.
and we're jumping right in here, I think.
Nox is getting that win with Control Scoia'tael as Life Coach got the win with his Hanzo list. The two decks that they've been adamantly starting with every single round. So now it's going to come to less preferred options.
We can see the bans there as well. We see the Life Coach can't play Scoia'tael, which he, you know, if you didn't know, he actually titled his deck OP, the Scoia'tael deck, and he's not allowed to play it Noxious
Poor
banned
guy.
out of monsters, which is, you know, has a lot of strength in its own right. But Noxious using Scoia'tael, using that control gameplay to seal the deal there.
And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, round 3, 1-1. Noxious brings Croc on Crate. And we got a mirror, folks.
One more mirror.
We have the mirror. No Peter Dagger for this one, though. So we'll see how it turns out. Because with Peter Dagger, he always wins them. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like, not exciting.
This mirror ultimately being the most important, as it is, it could end up being a $60,000 mirror to win. And it's
Yeah.
tough. Both of these decks very similar, but there's some key differences. We can see Okfist in the mulligan there. Also, the Wild Boar of the Sea, which is actually present in both decks. I should
Also-
note, but
also-
Okfist specifically unique to Life Coach.
The big difference in this deck is that Life Coach has quite a bit more resources to gain card advantage over Noxious with the presence of Siri and Okfist, and that could be very key.
And we talked a little bit about some of the choices that Life Coach played while he does play Croc on Crate that spawns 2 on Crate Warriors, also running 2 on Crate Warriors in the deck as well. So just opening up a lot more opportunities for Warcry to be a huge swing.
We see Savage Bear being developed turn 1 by Noxious. We have he has an immediate answer with Wild World of the Sea, but it would lose a little bit of value potential. So I think, and at the same time, like, you don't mind taking damage yourself. You can just Raging Berserker this.
It's true. I mean, Savage Bear in this
It's
matchup
gonna
is
be an
very
awkward game.
interesting.
It's gonna be an awkward game actually, because both of them benefit from the same strategy of self-wounding. So Savage Bear may actually help Life Coach out quite a bit here.
Life Coach not running a Savage Bear of his own, as we've seen in this list.
He develops the Okfist. Turn 1. Does Noxious have an answer for this? As of right now, he does not actually. That's huge. That's so huge. But that can also help build up Noxious's Warcry as well. But the Savage Bear is already doing that though, so it's actually gonna. That Oxys is gonna be very important in this match. It's gonna be so valuable here.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the cards in Noxious's hand, you know, as we've seen constantly, the massive swings that are possible. But now we're watching 2 decks that have the same.
There's the Raging Berserker. There it is. And that second Savage Bear singing up for the Warcry as well. And Noxious just playing ditto, baby.
Savage Bears definitely are an extra benefit to Life Coach that he didn't actually have to put in his deck to allow for more wounding. It does limit some of the options, but really they're only the resurrection options, which wouldn't be played anyway.
But definitely not even Sigdrifa can be played this round because of the 2 Savage Bears. So out of the 8 cards that Life Coach has in hand, without including his leader's ability, he can only play 5.
It's interesting, Noxus is...
well, he can't even play King of Beggars, actually. He's very limited.
Oh, well, he can play the King of Beggars.
Well, but
King of
he'll
Beggars,
pull,
but whatever King of Beggars pulls will be
exactly. It's a dead card, too, if you think about it.
I mean, Life Coach has a great hand for late game, but not so great for the first round. 3 resurrections in King of Beggars, which is pulling Priestess of Freya, which is another resurrection. In an empty graveyard, that's, 4 cards that are very difficult to play.
It is absolutely vital for this Octopus to stick around. Ermion could provide Noxus with an answer, but he draws double Maiden.
Yeah.
He may have to discard both since they're just disrupted now, but actually he's going to keep one of them, which I like.
You can make a case for discarding both, but whatever you put in the graveyard is utility later on.
I like him dropping the archers. Not really necessary in this matchup since you're pinging a lot of things anyways. You don't need to ping your own bears or anything. I like that.
Keeping a shield maiden ensures that you're not going to drop later.
Look at this wall for the sea. Boom! Down 2 bears. The bear killer, ladies and gentlemen.
Seen enough of those bears. So many bears in this.
So tired of the bears. Now he can play his resurrection. Now he has a bunch of usable cards again, even though he has an empty graveyard at this point. But this Octopus is huge for Life Coach. I know I say that a lot, but it's important, man.
Yeah, well, Octopus is one of the few cards in this game that allow you to get card
Nox
advantage.
capitalizing on the Octopus there and pulling a shield mating as it triggers. Very nice.
Both players letting the other players' cards do work for them.
This is a fun mirror, and both players are really capitalized. They're sharp. They are sharp today.
There's only so many options here at this point.
Considering they've been playing all day, it's impressive to see, actually. They really want this. They want the win. They're going at it.
This has been an all-day affair, and we are here in the finals. Noxus versus Life Coach, both up a game. Maximum 3 games remain as we watch the Skellige self-wounding mirror take place here. Life Coach looking good with 2 cards on his opponent as he gets that Octopus back in hand.
Opting to perhaps, Life Coach with a +2 card advantage, that is super good for him. But he's going to have to go oh, there we go.
He's setting up the war cry.
Setting it up. He wants to get a massive lead over his opponent before he has the chance to do so himself and potentially get another card out of him. If he can go +3 card advantage here, that would be massive for him. That Octopus was tremendous.
Absolutely. And there's only so many things Life Coach can do at this moment. I mean, he has a great board for Warcry, and he has the Archer, which can facilitate just a little bit more strength as well.
Even though it's not really required at this point because everything is damaged because Savage Bear.
It is true. It is true.
Savage Bear just completely, taking the utility of the Archers here.
Lots of red numbers for sure.
Noxus is really thinking deep here.
As he should, as he should.
Gonna set up the Grimace, it seems.
Not you again.
1, 2, 3.
Not enough to keep up with him, and now is when Life Coach has to go for the kill. He has to go for the war cry. Life Coach, sorry. Yeah, I think I said Life Coach.
Yeah. Grimace is...
This is a total... Dude, this is 16, 26... 30. 30 strength in a bronze card. You go for it. You just go for it.
Yeah, we talked about a lot of these. A lot of cards were improved that opened up Warcry as a really viable archetype, and it's looking like it's very competitive as well. Both of the finalists taking this deck into
He is going for it, ladies and
final
gentlemen.
best of 5 here.
Life Coach really debating here, really making sure that he makes the proper play. This play may seem somewhat obvious, but Life Coach is making sure that there's nothing else he could do that would be more valuable here. Just going over all the cards, how they're going to perform later down the line. And I think he's going for it.
It's pretty clear.
He's going for it. Yep. There we go, baby. 30 strength
Huge.
swing, 66. With a card over Noxus, thanks to the Octopus, Noxus is in massive trouble. If he passes here, he loses with 1 card down. That's devastating.
And also misses, I think that there's going to be a lot of potential for Igni to perform here, but sometimes you might want to take what you can get here. It would definitely close the gap. Igni would be able to take 20 strength away from Life Coach, but it wouldn't be enough for sure. And yeah, that card advantage is, keep an eye on that one.
Oh, the clock is ticking yet again.
And the deliberation in Gwent is really important. You see so many cards right away, so you try to map out what is actually possible. what you can combat and what you just can't.
Noxious passes, has to give up the round when one card out of this in disadvantage in comparison to Life Coach. This is so big. Adrian taking the lead here and also being able to not only take control of his entire round, but also just, he could actually take everything out of Noxious here and preserve that Sigdrifa for the late game and have like that advantage too. Like he can go all in if he wants to. He's on the driver's seat. I mean, and he's gonna make use of it.
Like really, really serious round one there. Not only is he up a card right now, but he had a hand that was not tailored for round one, and he was able to not only win it, but also win with a card up, and now he's got a dominating hand for the rest of this game. 2 Priestess of Frey and Sigurdrifa and King of Beggars, which would be looking directly at the remaining Priestess, as it does pull the lowest card.
I like how both have premium croc.
Those premium cards are fantastic.
They're gonna get one for every single card out there. That's
every card.
Every card.
Animated.
Like how will the Raging Berserker be? How will the Priestess be? They'll probably be waving around that bowl or something.
Waving their hands up and down for sure. Tight match right now, but you know.
Monkey see, monkey do.
Life Coach can afford to be very aggressive in this round. Cyprian Wiley will help a little bit by making his Life Coach's bear a lot worse.
I think
more bears on the way.
Yeah, I think Life Coach is definitely going to invest into that Archer to trigger the Raging Berserker so that he can potentially resurrect it down the line again. And we're definitely going to see Ocvis go down this round. There's no more usage for it, really. It's just a vanilla 7 strength unit that will be 8 strength the next round. It's good to get a useless card out of the way at the expense of probably a very useful card of your opponents. That's what winning the round one, that's the advantage that you get. You have the control.
I wonder if Life Coach is going to make the commitment to be aggressive enough. I mean, you can do so much and still hold on to Sigurdrifa and still have a really explosive final round, but same can be said about Noxious, but Life Coach in the driver's seat with the card advantage. And it looks like that would be a very aggressive play. Playing Croc, holding onto that Warcry indicates that he would just be trying to get so far ahead. And, you know, when it comes down to the last few cards, you can make that decision to just go for it. Go for that 2-0 knockout.
Priest of Freya resurrected the Archer.
Not wounding that
triggering the bear himself. Interesting.
Looks like that wasn't intended. Was not intended.
Oh boy.
Noxious admitting his mistake through emotes. Doesn't like the looks of that. But it's important.
Life Coach can push for.
Note.
He can push for like even more card advantage here. You can go +2. He passes. But then again, he would have to keep the Ocvis in hand. So I think he just has to keep on pushing. Honestly, yeah, he's gonna do that. There's the Ocvis. There's the Ocvis.
If only Noxious had a way to level out those bears so he could Igni them both, but that is not the case. No archers in hand now, as he just spent that one.
Yeah, indeed. Definitely unfortunate.
So we're just going to probably see, Life Coach is probably just going to be pushing as much.
Dropping Cyprian Willy there, but because of the Skellige passive, he did not banish it, as it had 4 base strength. Very important to note there. The Skellige passive did save King of Beggars there from being deleted from the game and did provide Sigdrifa with a solid target nonetheless. It may be a little bit weaker, yes, but it's still a chain machine.
Noxious has to push past this. If he felt like that was a misplay, he just needs to get through this round, but it's going to be difficult.
Very difficult. Life Coach has such a position of power right now. He's not letting go of that. Not easily, like at all. He's going to make Noxious feel the pain. He's going to put him in a very bad spot. Make him deplete his resources. You cannot allow a man to take you down round 1 with a card over you. That's just a death sentence. Life Coach has quite the killer instinct in Gwent. When he has card advantage over you, he just does not let you breathe, man.
And we're going to see if he decides to play any of his Resurrection cards. I mean, round 3 is where Skellige thrives, but in the mirror, being aggressive. We hear Igni occurring on the screen here. We're looking at a graveyard, but there, Geralt getting the value he can get here, putting Life Coach at a disparity that could encourage a pass. It's a great 3rd round hand, especially when you have card advantage.
I think you shackle Ruge.
Oh yeah, if you were going to play anything.
Yep. The shackles onto the Ruge, denying that and requiring another card from Noxious. Man, Noxious, he wanted to preserve, look at his hand with Warcry, Sigdrifa, and his leader's ability. Like, that would be a very solid hand to go into the 3rd round with. But because he lost the 1st round, Adrian will not allow him that.
I mean, Croc on Crate is still available for Noxious, so that Warcry is huge. So we're going to have to, I'm really interested in seeing what Life Coach's next play here is. You could make an argument for staying or going. It's a dominating hand for round 3.
There goes the Grifa. Picking up the Gremist, actually. Empowering the Warcry here, potentially.
Now, if Life Coach is really worried about that Warcry, he may bow out, but I think that seeing if he really is worried about it, it's possible that he just goes for it. I think this is very aggressive, downright mean to keep going here. Deplete his opponent of cards. Life Coach has all of the initiative here. Sigurdrifa is a bomb of a card to play later on.
He wants to take out the combo. I think Life Coach really wants to get that ability out of him. With Virgin, Mother, and Crone. There goes the Raging Bear.
We're very used to hearing that in this game. Yeah. One of the, I think, in almost every Skellige list, Priestess of Freya, it's really hard to, I don't know if you could really build one without Priestess of Freya. It's so core to the gameplay of Skellige. So hearing that voice line over and over and over again, sometimes I hear it in my sleep.
The question is, what do you do now? You have to go for the Warcry. You can't just preserve Warcry in your hand. You have to go for it now.
Noxious is forced to stay in this round, so...
He's only got a 16-point lead, and he's facing Skellige. Like, he can definitely cover that with his last 2 cards. He has to do that now. Like, that's what he has to go for. He has to preserve Clown and Crate for the very fast.
You think you'd Warcry here?
Yeah, without a doubt. You can't preserve Warcry in your hand when you have 16 strength in your leader's ability.
He has the strength, yeah. He has the strength.
You can't do it. You got to go for Warcry. You can't keep that in your hand. But what's the best thing you're going to draw? Like a Resurrection and get a Clown and Crate Warrior? Like, regardless of the outcome or what he draws, he'll get more strength directly out of his leader's ability for the next round. But 16 does not seem like enough, especially when you got double Resurrection.
Now, this is a lead that you could argue, regardless of what Life Coach does, Noxious may be comfortable passing. Life Coach is just going to take that amazing hand into the next round.
It is Croc on Crate versus Grifa and Freya. Let's see what both players draw here. Very crucial draws.
Top decks could be very important.
These top decks are everything as of now. A Holger Blackhand drawn.
Versus Coral.
Coral, ooh.
Tough one, tough one.
Holger Blackhand immune to the weather that Coral generates. Very important there.
And there's so much power on the melee row which Coral just can't get near. I think this is going to go in Life Coach's favor.
Yep.
There's
should lead off with
only
Sigurdrifa.
So much Noxious can do here.
Yeah, he should lead off with Sigurdrifa here, in my opinion, to basically get a little bit of an extra buff after he summons Freya afterwards. Preserve Holger Blackhand if he can have like a 3rd target. There's no need to rush it, I feel.
Although, if you want to minimize Warcry, if you're worried about another Warcry.
True, exactly.
Each of those pings is double.
Good point. Yeah. Very good.
Potentially.
Yep. Going with the Holger Blackhand to potentially weaken that. And this is what we're talking about, man. Holger Blackhand does not care about no fog.
Life Coach has more than enough resources available to take this, going up 2-1 against Noxious. We're going to go to Game 4, match point potential here for Life Coach. We could be witnessing the final game in this final best of series where we get to crown the Gwent Challenger. Fantastic play. Noxious didn't seem happy about triggering that bear in the end there as he emoted.
But I think the MVP, I think the difference in this match is what I pointed out earlier. The tools that Life Coach has in his crotch list to generate card advantage over his opponent. Yeah,
absolutely.
I pronounced that a bit weird, sorry.
Oh, we're going to roll with it.
Okay.
Wish I could see the chat sometimes.
Oh, God. But, yeah, we have Life Coach with 1 victory. That's all he needs to take this finals. What a series of games. Now that Noxious has no access to his control Squirtle, can he get a win here? He's switching it up to Radovid as Life Coach brings his last ace.
This is a good matchup, though.
Monsters, yep.
This is a great matchup for Radovid.
This could be the last game, ladies and gentlemen. If Life Coach wins this match, he will win the Gwent Challenger.
I think you'd say Noxious is favored in this matchup, so it's possible this might go all the way to the end, but we're going to have to see. You know, you do still have to get those draws. You have to get those answers for a lot of problems that monsters can create for you. 3 Neckers in hand.
Mulligan.
Mulliganing Roge just to make things definitely not what you want to see, but always a risk you take on that last mulligan if you don't see Roge.
Yep, but I do want to point out that even though he could have an advantageous matchup because of all of his control mechanisms, even decks that are designed to take out consume monsters can fail easily because consume monsters is just the king of proactive decks, and it's the preferred choice in ladder for a reason. Life Coach knows how to pilot this deck very well, and he's preserving it for the very last, as he does have to lead off first. He did lose the coin flip and has Roach in his hand, so you can't say Life Coach got lucky here.
Well, I think that he was saving monsters because he wanted to make sure that he had that potential to avoid Radovid, as this matchup would not be favored. But we're going to have to see how this one plays out, absolutely.
Leads off with the Brand Warrior right there. No Arrakis Behemoth, though, to capitalize on it.
That's true.
Gather my
Choosing
men.
to not operate her first for that Brand Warrior.
Oh, now she seems to be leading off with the Lubberkin there, but Life Coach does have the answer. I think that Demon Team Shackles is definitely, or no, this is better.
Oh,
Got
Drog
Drog.
takes care of both of these things.
I like Drog a lot. I like
Your
Drog a lot.
nightmare.
I like him a lot. Oh, wow.
I do like Drog. It's an exciting card to watch, and it's great when you can get
All right, ladies and
exactly
gentlemen.
what you want.
Let's enter the fray. Knocking out the Lubberkin and Roach in the process. That is a sweet Drog, if you ask me. Oh, man, that was great.
RNG will do its thing, but when you can control what happens, it makes those cards extra
He
powerful.
can play goal here and get rid of Roach.
That is true. That is true. Ghoul would take care of Roach, as it is the only target in either graveyard, and it would not come back after that.
Will Life Coach opt to take that play, or will you opt to go with something else, like, for example, an operator or such? I think this is a very, yeah, he's seeing it. He's seeing it. He's going
Taking a
for
look.
it. Yeah, I think he's debating it. He's definitely seen it already, but he's debating it now if it's worth it. I think it definitely is. Yeah, boy, he's going for it.
There it is.
There
I
it
think
is.
there's a lot of great options still available for Life Coach, still holding that Crone on that operator. Lots of stuff that could be done, but taking care of Roach. A little bit
That's
of control
huge.
from the
I told
greedy
you
list, a
so,
little bit
you
of
idiot.
greed from the control list.
Playing against the RNG of the card by using it early on. Very good use of goal there. Now, I'm
Life
interested to
Coach
see
has
what
to
he's going to
play.
copy with Operator, actually.
He does have to play a Roach of his own in order to get value out of that later in the game, but it's much better to play that when you have a lead,
Yes.
as it is a very, very low strength play.
He does have the Crone in his hand, though, so that can provide him with a strong swing. Because he could actually set up Roach and kind of bait out. Even though the problem is he lost the coin flip, so it could lead to him losing card advantage. But then again, monsters can gain that back with their passive easily.
Yeah, the Crones allow so much flexibility to the setup of monsters, as it puts you so far ahead.
It's that powerful swing in one turn that they provide you with. That's just, it actually makes people, because yeah, you may think, wow, Crones are amazing. Well, yeah, but they take 3 out of your 6 silver slots, and silver slots are amongst like the most contested slots in Gwent. So it's definitely a strong investment to make, but definitely worth it, as it thins your deck and it gives you a powerful play to go with.
Yeah, you can only have 6 cards, 6 silver cards in your deck. Crones do take up half of that, but it's you know,
It's the
it
price
makes
you
up
gotta
for it by
pay.
being a 20-card
Yeah.
play that also thins your deck of 2 cards. And deck building in Gwent is fantastic for that kind of stuff, where you have limitations and so many strong
Exactly.
options. I think this tournament has shown that there are a lot of options,
People have
Not
been,
just-
yeah.
not just because of us.
It's a good example. Like, for example, that's the example twice there. Go me. Life Coach, instead of running Geralt Igni, which is the preferred choice for the majority of monster players, is running Drog. And in that scenario, Igni would have done nothing to the Lubberkin, but Drog shut it down. So you got to always be willing to experiment and try new things, I think.
Oh, Drog is a great control card early on.
People were like worried about the RNG, but Drog shines with either weather support, because he nullifies the strength of a lot of units, or at the very early stages of the game to just deal with something immediately.
Yeah, we talked a lot about how you want to maximize the value of your cards as much as possible, and we know that Gwent is a fairly on the lower end of the spectrum when it comes to random effects, but the more you can slim that down. We talked about how deck thinning facilitates this, and how when you can predict, or at least know for a fact, you know, we saw the Ghoul eat Roach because we knew that was going to happen. It's a random card. We knew Draug would take care of the Lubberkin, even though in a later round that those random pings could have gone other places. So when you can kind of control the outcomes and make sure that you're getting the most out of that, then it just comes down to the decision making. Makes Gwent such a high skill cap
Yes,
game.
yes.
And here we are in the
Whom
finals.
do I spy?
Of this tournament, we've seen so many like skilled decisions. Like it's been a pleasure to watch. I've learned a lot myself, honestly, and I'm pretty sure the audience has as well. I hope you guys are enjoying the show, because this is just great, man. I'm learning so much from these games. It's fantastic.
the deck list likely going to be all over the place. It's going to definitely change up. And we know that you can sign up for Play Gwent right now, and a lot of people might be trying the game out for the first time. And for these tournament lists to be out there, it's possible the ladder may end up being, you know, a lot more varied than it has been, as we've seen a lot of these decks perform very well. We do know that the tournament play is much different than the ladder, and you can kind of control the stuff that you see. But I think some cards have really shown here.
I think there is a bit of an issue of like trends, though. I think it definitely is a case. Even though they're very established decks, you can't just say that something wins 100% of the time against everything, you know. And that's, you gotta open up your mind and try to, you know. Life Coach has been laddering with the Vest. Like, I've seen him ladder with that deck. I just didn't pay too much attention to it, but I've seen him ladder with that. So it's not like he just used it for his tournament. He used it to rank. So if that doesn't encourage you to build your own decks and think outside the box, I don't know what will.
This game's still very close here in the first round. Could be match point for Life Coach. Up 2-1, looking for that final victory with a very strong deck, taking on Radovid Control.
Ekimara being applied, eating up Ruge, actually. Life Coach being very conservative, playing around Igni. Interesting.
Keeping the game very close as well. Roach will come back, potentially, if Karen is played.
Karen can be used to basically eat up the Seize row and then set up a nice Dagon for Life Coach. And we see no clear skies in the hand of Noxious, but of course, Life Coach does not know this.
And you know, you could make a case, Ekimara often is used, although Life Coach does have an additional Ekimara in hand, often is used to be a gigantic unit to keep and carry over into the next round. So usually eating Roach isn't always the option that you would pick, and but it's good because you sacrifice so little, and you may get it back as well.
Yeah, you obtain value there, realistically, and you also avoid Geralt Igni in this early stage of the game, and it's nice. Like, he's playing conservative, and I like that. He's really trying to gain the value advantage here, and now he drops the Necker. Something I really like about Life Coach is how he's not rushing these Neckers. Like, a lot of the Consume monsters, you see them play Necker like the first turn, or right after the Crones, immediately, when it's vulnerable to so many different sources of removal. Now it's still vulnerable to Radovid, but the fact that he's been holding on to it, I like that a lot. Like, he's been doing that a lot, and other players have as well. And I think that's a very smart approach, really.
I like Radovid as a leader because you basically always have a lock in hand, although your opponent knows that. But you know, especially in this matchup, and there it is. So that will deny the Necker from reappearing, or should I say, spawning an additional one in the following round. But there's
the shackles. You know, oh man, oh wow, impressive.
I mean,
nice. He's been
the
holding
Necker
on
is
to
such
that.
a core strategy that you know.
He could have used that on a Trebuchet, for example, but no, he wants the value. That's fantastic for him.
We've seen a lot of locking in this tournament, not a lot of unlocking. Downreading Shackles does toggle the lock, whereas Radovid does not do that.
Nox is thinking quite a bit now.
First round still very close, relatively.
Looking at Shani early
Hovering
on.
over Shani.
With a Ballista, I don't think that's worth it. I think you drop the Trebuchet instead.
Over
Oh, he's going with Shani!
This is such an aggressive play.
Wow.
Sure. Be glad to.
This is a very aggressive play. Sight set on the Necker, probably.
Yep. Actually, no, I'm not sure what he was looking. That was an early Shani for Noxious.
That's a tough card to play early in round one. That gets you a lot of value later in the game.
Yeah. I wonder why, like, he even had a King of Bears on the board. I wonder why he's opting to do that. It's interesting play by Noxious there.
Noxious definitely had options there. But he is ahead.
He is ahead, and those double trebuchets are really hurting Life Coach.
It's possible he just really wants to have the trebuchet later, as it is kind of annoying to deal with later on, especially, I mean, both of these cards are, it's going to be a short round, likely.
Life Coach is really debating what to do here. He opts to play the Ekimara and eat up that. It doesn't seem like he's really working for a rain here because he hasn't eaten any single one of the. Maybe he's preserving that for later, actually. Like, he wants to eat them, those three immediately and then set up the rain.
I think Life Coach was anticipating a pass there by Noxious, so he was setting up his bronze card there, although, you know, it was the last card that he has to play.
That would make sense. But Noxious still has quite a bit of go with. Another Ballista in hand and the reinforced trebuchet as well. Now, it's important to note that Life Coach does not run Grave Hag himself, so what if Noxious is preserving that Ballista for the sake of being able to answer potential Grave Hag down the line? Because he hasn't faced his deck up until now, actually.
And he didn't anticipate the Grave Hag in that legendary best of 5.
No, but he plays it anyways. He plays it anyways.
He plays it anyway. Staying in this round.
Lining up that Siege row, though, I think this is a strong Karen if, like, yeah, he's going for it.
We could see another round 1 go down to the last card here, potentially.
I believe Karen plus Rain will do it for Life Coach if he eats the 3 crones. Even though they're slightly damaged, there's still 14 strength that he's saving up himself. And out of, I mean, a Rain would basically take away 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. He will basically take away a total of 17. I'm sorry, 18 points from, yeah, it's not that clear here. Oh, he does get Roach, though, but Roach does spawn in the Siege row. Yeah, he's going for it. He's going for it. He's going for the Rain. That's what he wants. He's setting up for that. This entire time he was going for it. And actually, never mind. I didn't count into the Necker, so.
It's so difficult to take on Dagon. It's so difficult when the weather can always be that swing.
13. And that Reinforced Trebuchet is a dead card. I think Noxious has to be wary of the Rain. If he sees it coming, he can pass here. He does see it coming and he passes.
Well,
wanted to get that +2 card advantage over Life Coach.
Dagon on display, but forcing that play.
Not bad.
Life Coach is probably thinking about how the rest of this game is going to play out. Taking that round, but going down 2 cards, and then having to act first. Probably an instant pass if he goes for it here. He's going to instantly pass probably in round 2. Maybe
very adamant on taking the first round, but does barely take the first round.
Yeah,
barely.
He had to do. That's the calculation you need to do sometimes.
Yeah, you gotta be. That's why you gotta
focus. Another 1 point round.
Keeping the Ekimara and a Necker. That's a total of 17 strength being translated to the next round, but he draws a Necker. That actually can disrupt this play quite a bit because, yes, that's bad. That's very bad.
It definitely changes how round 3 is going to go.
I think Life Coach has to potentially pass here and try to have 2 cards taken out of his opponent. But it's tough, man.
I mean, Noxious can get the job done. He's got a great hand going into these later rounds.
Oh, this is tough for Life Coach, actually. This is very tough. He's going to have to pass here. I think this is his best chance, but I mean, he's calculated. I mean, he's already played Shani. Yeah,
while Shani has been played, Nanik is still a monster of a card in her own right, as she can do everything that Shani can do, although without the promoting aspect of it. But since Noxious doesn't run or hasn't seen Dandelion or any card that would be so great to promote as well, it's possible that he saw Shani as expendable.
I think he has to pass here.
Ultimately,
yep, he passes.
Ooh.
He passes. Oh, no, he doesn't.
Oh, he's not. Oh, he's taking us for a ride.
Oh,
Gonna play that Arrakis Behemoth.
Oh,
Go for that aggressive line of play here.
Wow. This is Resurrection City for Noxious. I like him leading off with the Trebuchet. That'll give him more value. And now there's the pass.
Nope, still taking us for a ride. There it is, finally. That coin completes the pass. Noxious has his work cut out for him here.
Well, let's see if he can make it. This
King
could be enough.
Facilitates a lot here. Priscilla's probably going to get...
Yep.
Ooh, that first light. That's a gamble.
That's huge.
That's mystery versus mystery right there.
That's actually very huge. And he does pull the medic.
He gets another medic and the trebuchet.
He hits the spider,
what
weakening his keep.
Weakening the keep.
Strong turn there by Noxious. And him top decking that Neckers. Oh, man. Life Coach has been very unlucky with his draws here.
Getting Roach at the beginning and getting that last round here, we're going to get to see these final draws here. Noxious being up a card, holding on to 2 medics.
Oh, man. That's tough.
Yeah, I think we're going to go. I think we might see game 5, folks. We're going to see game 5. Bringing back the Ekimara.
Healing a vampire only to have it eat you. Feels bad, man.
You jest.
Oh, he's gonna take
that.
No,
out.
he should take out the Arakas, actually.
Definitely.
Poses
a much bigger threat.
Yeah, he realized. Yep. This is it, folks. That's all she wrote. We're gonna see a game 5, ladies and gentlemen, worthy of the finals. Noxious is able to defeat the Consume Monsters with his Radovid.
Taking us right to the end, 5-game final. Don't count either of these players out. Fantastic play so far.
Outstanding.
It has been a long day for these players. We are far away from home, especially for Noxious coming in from Canada, talking about that jet lag getting to him and still holding his own, taking this to game 5. Anyone's game right now. Anyone's game right now.
Noxious taking a little bit of a breathe here, I feel. Oh, actually, life coach. Noxious just jumped directly into it.
Well, we do know there's
ready.
it's going to have to be Dagon versus Croc on crate at this point.
This is so epic, man. 2-on-2.
All coming down to this one.
It's going to go Dagon versus Noxious's last deck, which is the Croc on crate list. Now, Croc on crate is a very powerful, proactive deck that can actually potentially outmuscle consume monsters in the first round. One of the few decks that can actually do that.
Yeah. Took the words right out of my mouth. You know, it's all about strength. It really depends if
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The last match of the finals of the Gwent Challenger. The winner of this match will be proclaimed the first ever Gwent champion. Are you ready? Clap for me,
guys. Come on, this is it. This is game 5 of the finals. Where are my people at? That ring is waiting for a finger, and this is it. This has been such a great ride, folks.
Oh man, this has been crazy.
It's going to come down to this. Every decision matters. $60,000, well, $40,000 on the line. both of them are probably pretty happy.
In the situation, like, it's pretty. It has to be stressful, actually.
We've seen Life Coach do some pretty.
Yeah,
pretty
I mean, this guy was a
things
poker player that
with
just retired. Like, he's used to this. That's why he's here in the finals. And Noxious just so humble. So humble his entire tournament. He's the only one that brought Life Coach to 2 losses in his entire tournament. He's literally his toughest opponent here. The guy who's just didn't even think he was going to make it out of the first round. And look at him now. Like, this is insane.
He's showing up when it counts. Absolutely.
He speaks with his, I would say his actions, but his cards. He speaks with his cards, not with words.
Humble and honest to the end.
That is the Noxious way.
A pretty good hand here from Life Coach. He's able to assemble the, he has a lot of chances here to assemble that Arrakis Behemoth and Varan Warrior engine that is so devastating in round 1. Even with Warcry in hand, this could be a very deep, high-scoring match.
And that hand is looking very solid for Noxious. He has 1 shield maiden, the Raging Berserker. It's looking great. The Cyprian willing to counter the Necker as well, even though we see no Neckers in the opening hand of Life Coach. Very interesting.
Well, Life Coach doesn't lean too hard on the on that core of Necker,
that's true,
Necker
that's
Warrior.
True. It helps him out, but he
run
doesn't
Warrior.
focus so much on it. Yeah, that's true. Ah, there he goes, immediately into his deck and getting those Shield Maidens out. Very nice. Very nice start.
Alzur's double cross does pull operators, so
we may see that. We've seen him target Varan Warrior a lot with that combo.
He has. Actually, no one has, I think, in every instance of Operator being in a Monsters deck, Varan Warrior has been the candidate each time.
Operator is such a cool card because it's technically fair, like you're giving both players 1 card, but it really rewards your own synergy. And I think it's one of the coolest cards in Gwent, honestly.
It is one of the coolest cards in Gwent. Definitely, you can make it work so hard for you. And, yeah.
I love that.
There is that extra Varan Warrior. That extra insurance that this engine will get running. We're going to see a lot of spiders, folks. Every decision
Life Coach
counts.
with 11 strength swing right now in his favor. Raging Berserker enters the board, and he does get the transformation immediately. And now, here come the spiders.
Now, if he played the Varan Warrior before the Arrakis Behemoth, he would have ensured that he could get the Arrakis Behemoth to spawn the Arrakis immediately upon playing.
Yeah, I wonder why, I wonder why he opted to make that play.
He definitely has a lot of Varans to spend.
How much removal is available for him? Mermion hits the board, which means he's going to draw 2 extra cards, get Ruge out of there, freezes a Freya, and freezes a Freya.
That's tough because...
Let's see what he discards here, actually.
It's tough to get rid of both of them, but...
I mean, there's a clear
they
discard
only had
there.
so much use in round 1.
Okay, yeah, I like that. I like that, actually. Noxious immediately looking into the graveyard of Life Coach, checking, what he has.
So the Varan Warrior on the ranged row isn't as important. Life Coach isn't running the smaller Arrakis that muster out with that consume. But getting a Vran going, I mean, he's put a lot of value into these Vran warriors, making sure that they are as strong as possible. Every snack now producing 2 Ericus.
Right now, the big 7-strength crone is protecting that entire row from a ridiculous Igni.
Absolutely, and there's not much that can change that short of Cyprian Wiley hitting one of my favorite cards, Old Basket Face.
Basket.
The big crone,
Basket face.
as I refer to her affectionately.
That's the first time I heard that, but it's, you know, surprisingly accurate.
I'll save that one to the end.
Worthy of the finals, right?
Worthy of the finals.
Worthy
Now,
funds.
It's difficult. I mean, while Cyprian Wiley is the strength removal that would enable a very strong Igni, it's so difficult to ever play that card when you know you can target a Necker and stop that from happening. But
And also, Ikimara can be a thing. Like, Ikimara can just disrupt that again. So it's just, you're losing the potential to shut down the Neckers, as you said. Exactly.
yeah, but we already know that Life Coach doesn't lean too hard on that. He's more about using Vran Warriors and Araxis Behemoths to get the job done.
And I think
Still,
it's about time.
it's still, you know, you put the Neckers in the deck for a reason. They're very strong just by themselves, despite all the tools you can use to make them that much more devastating. But at least room in your deck to really focus on, as we've been calling it, the engine.
This is here it begins, man. The
Just wrap it
engine.
up.
The engine. I hope nobody's having like a drinking game when we said that word.
We got to add that word to the list, I think. Absolutely.
We do.
Unconventional, mirror.
An engine.
You've already been with us this long, folks. If you've been drinking every time we've been saying those words.
I worry for your health, honestly. If he can get these Vran Warriors to trigger and the Araxis to stick, that's going to translate into so much strength. I don't know if Warcry will be enough when you have double Araxis Behemoth and so many options to consume. And that Karen, like, this is such a powerful hand.
Yeah, what stops it? This is just going to be a train.
Yeah, he doesn't have
head-on
the tools.
collision,
He
I
doesn't have the
think,
control
with
tools to
strength
stop it. He's starting to set up
Oh,
the ending. He's
doing
going
it.
for it. Will Life Coach see this coming? If he fails to see this, if he don't, okay, this stops it. This stops it.
Fantastic.
No, it doesn't.
Whoa!
It doesn't.
Oh, this is going to be
No. He's gonna. Oh my God.
This is going to be a great look at this.
Oh,
Not
no.
even hesitating. We've been waiting to see that level of value from Gerald Igni.
Oh
What
my God. He's got
absolute
him.
meltdown. Couldn't have scripted it any better.
Wow. He walked it. He could have avoided that, but he didn't see it. Oh man. Noxus got him.
That Savage Bear ping.
That's crazy. Oh, he still hasn't played Warcry. Oh my God.
Things changed around very quickly with that play.
Wow.
And all of the Araxis Behemoth spent from hand. There's only really so much that can happen now, and Noxus is looking at just a
Look at
scream
Life
amount
Coach.
of
Look at
strength.
Life Coach right now. Oh my God. He's feeling it.
Oh, look at
He's
them both.
feeling it.
Once again, talking about that body language. Talking about how Noxus learned a lot
man.
from Life Coach.
That, oh my God. That
What?
hurt so much.
What a Gerald Igni.
Oh, this is devastating for him. Oh man, he has to try to get back into.
He's going to take the card and step out, but that was probably one of the best Ignis you'll see.
And he set up for it though too.
Set up
Like
for it.
He set up that.
Telegraphed
Oh
it.
God. Wow. Now Noxus is in control. He has to basically pressure Life Coach as best as he can, so he doesn't have a strong key for the next round.
I mean, there's a lot of threat that can still come out of the monsters deck, and using Igni to win the round is great. But sometimes Igni is, you know, you can oftentimes find value with Igni at any point in the game against monsters. But that was spectacular.
Oh man, that was devastating.
We came from the fireworks. These players not disappointing. This is the final game. Like it or not, all good things must come to an end.
That Geraldini was like the best Igni I've seen in a long time. That's insane.
You know, it's fun enough when that stuff happens on stream, but we're on the big stage.
This is the final game. Like, that's so huge. Rip. All right, he drops another Vran Warrior in the melee area. The problem is he has no more Araxis Behemoth really to capitalize on these consumption. Like he had all the makings for a very powerful first round, but because he did not see the Igni coming, he got burnt. He got burnt bad.
Noxus can afford to be, you know, much like we saw Life Coach in the previous matchup, Noxus can afford to be very aggressive with this hand. He's a fantastic hand going into round 3 and a very aggressive hand for round 2, depending on how he wants to play it.
And Noxious passes there, making sure that he keeps a very weak keep and doesn't power itself more. Very, very well done there. Because Ekimara could have been developed into the melee row, absorbing the Ran Warrior, and then the other Ran Warrior would eat it, basically. He knows he doesn't have Igni anymore, so Noxious said no to that.
I think that pass, I think that Noxious had the ability to make a very short and clean round 3. Putting this into a long round is risky.
Yeah, it is. It is.
We know what
it
Dagon can do in a long round, and there is still an Ericus Behemoth out there somewhere.
I think Life
to
Coach
be
is
found.
debating. I think he's going to go for the Ekimara here, actually.
It would be
Ekimara
a huge
on
key.
the melee row to avoid Coral. Yes, he's going for it. He's going for it. He's still going for it regardless of that. Noxious saw this coming, but Life Coach is going for it anyways. 25 strength translating to the next round. Both players have 6 cards in hand. Life Coach is not out of it. Even after that devastating Igni, the passive is gonna translate so much power here.
Couldn't
Ladies and
ask for much
gentlemen,
more.
and there's the Arrakis Behemoth.
Oh, boy.
That's so huge.
That is so huge.
Here goes, ladies and
Gonna get a
gentlemen,
lot
the
out of
last
that.
round of the Gwent Challenger Finals. Oh,
Checking
man.
out those caretaker options right now.
Warcry versus Consumption. Who will win?
The flags are waving in the air.
Every sequence decision here is absolute key.
Take a nice good look at this graveyard. You don't get a chance to always take a peek. Graveyard is so important in this particular card game. A hill to climb already for Noxious. And he also does not get to play last. Dagon has weather options.
Noxious doesn't get to play last. Because he played Ekimara to keep that huge keep, Noxious has the last say in this game.
That is true. That is true.
Gonna go and steal the Raging Bear with the Caretaker, making use of the fact that he has to go first.
We've got a great setup here. I actually get to see the player on the top of the screen as a base perspective, and sometimes I look.
Yeah.
You see the hands. You see the hands in different positions. You are right though.
Life
That
Coach
last play
stealing.
here.
Yeah, Life Coach stealing the Raging Bear from him. That was huge. That was absolutely huge. He may have to de-shackles here, and I think that's a very solid play to go for. Shut down. Take the Noxious approach and deal with the threat immediately. What else would you want to shackle at this point? You don't want to shackle Ruge. Like, you want to target that bear. You want to shut it down so that he cannot get a nice Warcry going on for him.
I think that's a solid play. I mean, look at the strength advantage right now.
You have to go for that.
Life Coach turned this around.
With that, with that keep. Definitely.
Not over yet, though. Of course, a lot of options. The choices on
Yeah, he goes for
Resurrected
it.
from
He
the
goes for
Priestess
it.
of
He
Freya.
moved him shackles onto the Raging Bear.
Those decisions on Priestess of Freya and Sigurdriff, and of course the result of the rally, which may end up being a clear weather. If that's
This
the
is
only
intense,
way.
boys. This is intense. Life Coach may
serve
have a
her
strong
who
lead,
is
but
virgin,
Warcry is
mother,
known
and
for the
crone.
insane burst it can have. And he goes for the bear again. Nox is really adamant on that sticking around. He needs to start wounding his own unit so that Warcry is as powerful as he can be, but he lacks his leader's ability at this point. He does have Clear Skies in his hand, though, so he can bypass weather, which is very important.
One of the biggest threats here is very avoidable with that First Light weather clearing card. And yeah, Noxious is a big fan of the Savage Bears running 3 in this deck. More Savage Bears than Raging Berserkers.
I think we're going to see a goal onto the melee row after that, and then being absorbed by Rand to trigger the Arrakis Behemoth twice.
The Kayran, we know, can produce a lot of strength. We saw Kayran make a comeback of, I think there was a disparity at one point in one of the matchups, 16 plus points. Kayran handled that.
All you
no
need that
problem.
spider. All you need is that spider on the board.
All you need is that Arrakis Behemoth. Very, very strong bronze card.
But requires a good synergy to work. Otherwise, it's just a 6 strength unit. So,
Well,
I like the card a lot.
all
honestly.
3 of these cards that Life Coach
Yeah.
holds that aren't Dagon are consumed cards, so
Yep.
every round
Exactly.
he can produce another
Exactly.
Arrakis. And he's already got such a lead.
Exactly.
So much can happen. The Warcry.
He's gonna go for that immediately. Okay, so that will enable Noxious to go for a rally as well. Rally picks up a goal. All right, not a bad pull for him at all. Oh, what did he eat? What did he? Boy, what you eat? Holy crap!
What a ghoul. Landed on a very high strength target. Skellige has the strength. We're just going to take a look at there. I believe it was the On-Crate Warrior. 52 strength of Ran Warrior.
That's the strongest Brand Warrior in the history of Gwent. I'll tell you that.
I don't know if that's true, but this is it's definitely going to be the most expensive one if it ends up being the $40,000 Brand Warrior.
A Deeper Eats Kebab here would be like the strongest
Only
thing
one
ever.
player brought that card.
Oh, it would be so great here. Will Warcry be enough?
Cyprian Wiley just taking what he can get here.
I think Roach is the prime target here, so they cannot, you know, consume it. I mean, it doesn't really matter at this point, but he does go for the Roach anyways. Noxious is not that far behind, and he's still holding on to that Warcry, and he does have the Gremist in his hand. Gremist can target 3 units and deal 1 damage to them at the expense, and then buff himself up even more, so gaining value in the process, and working for that Warcry. So he's not out of it just yet.
Anybody viewing with an Excel spreadsheet open knows how this is probably going to play out. But yeah, Gremist is going to be able to enable a huge burst of strength that Life Coach will not be able to prevent.
That is your brilliant move.
And then we still have
Truly.
what could come out from the rally, as it's now no longer needed to clear weather.
Right now, the Warcry is worth a total of 20 points. He needs a little bit more. He needs a miracle through that rally.
This could be close enough that the rally could make the difference.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. He needs to fish for something very key. Like I think a Priestess of Freya into. I'm not sure. Honestly.
There may be one left in the deck.
There may be. I honestly can't remember these gentlemen.
A lot of games being played today, and we're down to the last one here.
The last turns, folks. Noxious versus Life Coach.
60 strength Brand Warrior.
The strongest Brand Warrior ever.
Priestess of Freya on the rally.
Oh,
Huge get.
He can get the Clown on Clay Warrior. Will that be enough?
Oh, this Warcry is going to be massive.
Oh, that's
folks.
Oh, that's quite a bit more. Karen though.
One step at a time, folks. Let's just appreciate this moment. This is Gwent Challenger, the last card being played in a fierce best of 5 performance.
1 Spider, 2 Spider, 3 Spider. 109. That is the final strength that Life Coach has generated here. And Warcry happens.
Just playing it. Let it play out. Here it is, folks. So close. So close.
Life Coach wins.
What a series.
What an amazing way to end this tournament. Oh my God. And that's a 69 Brand Warrior, by the way.
That. Nice.
Wow.
Could you have asked for anything better out of a Game 5?
Oh my Lord. Outstanding.
Players trading a couple of words here.
Back and forth. I cannot believe it was that close, all the way down to the wire. The final card's being played, the final battle, the final game, Game 5, in the grand final of the Gwent Challenger. Life Coach is taking home $60,000 and is the first official Gwent champion. A big day for him and a big day for all these players, as we have seen some of the best Gwent has to offer. I am almost beyond perplexed after seeing 13 hours worth of Gwent matches today. We finally have crowned a champion. So congratulations once again to Life Coach. I'm sure he and his wife are very, very happy today. All of these players brought some very significant gameplay. I would venture to say some gameplay we've never even seen before. And this is just the beginning. This is what it's all about.
Oh man, this is just the beginning. Like, this is the first ever tournament, and we already got all this. Like, this is crazy. Could you ask for more?
No.
Could you ask for more?
Honestly, exceeded my expectations, and I expected
that's insane.
Nothing but greatness from this tournament.
Oh my God.
Absolutely fantastic final series. Man, what a day.
What a day.
What a day
What
today.
a day. We saw
I'm not even tired.
I'm more energy now than ever, I think, after that one.
We have our grand champion standing by with Maud Garrett. Life Coach, congratulations. Let's see what you have to say.
Thanks so much, Josh. Yes, a huge round of applause, everyone, for Life Coach taking out the Gwent Challenger Tournament, the very first one we've had. A standing ovation here from not only everyone in the arena here, but also your fellow competitors as well, paying their respects. Your wife as well, on the verge of tears, I believe. A lot of support here for you, not only here in person, but in the chat this entire tournament as well. How do you feel right now?
Very good. Maybe I could just say some words.
Yes.
That's awesome. Okay, so I heard from the commentators just that we had in the last match gameplay, like they never saw it before, and I can definitely get behind that. So specifically in this Skellige against the Monster match, where I let the plan to draw out the Igni, maybe not like this. So that didn't go exactly according like plan, but I'm also happy that it went very close. And I guess if you ask for any kind of final, I mean, that's exactly the final you wanted to see, right? With the 3-2, with such close games, that was really intense gameplay. Short shout-outs to my training partners, so Kamu and Tobi Metranos. They helped me very much to prepare, so we put up a lineup which is perfectly hating Henselt. Unfortunately, I didn't face a single Henselt in this tournament, but yeah, I'm happy that it worked out anyways.
Fantastic. Well said. You couldn't have said it better. I'm so glad you took that, Mike, and kept coaching all the way through as well. Now, Noxious, obviously, amazing competitor in this as well. And it was honestly anyone's game until that last card was played. What did you learn about Noxious, and what did you learn all over? And I also want to know, what's your favorite deck now?
Yeah, I learned that he plays Igni in his deck, and obviously that he is a stronger player than many might have thought beforehand, because there were also some Twitter tweets where they said, okay, maybe he's only a casual or whatever, but I guess today he proved that he's way more than that, and I really hope that we will see more of him in the Gwent scene.
Now, you're obviously at the highest of the competitive level. You are the crowned winner today, but for those that are just wanting to start out in Gwent, what advice could you offer them?
Yeah, just start with it. I mean, the biggest advice is to play it more than 3 days, because the first 3 days it might feel a little bit unusual, but after 3 days, once you catch up, it's a real awesome game. So that's, yeah, just try it out.
Well, it's not just about the prize pool here, it's also about being the finger that wears the ring. So to help us out with this one, we've got the co-creator of Gwent, Rafael Iaki. Come up to the stage. The presentation will be happening. Here is the trophy, the wearable art. Now, I do have a little thing to say before this goes on, because obviously the real winner here was Tunnel Vision. Will that be possible now, wearing a giant ring on your finger? Will it hurt?
Yeah, I mean, we can just try it out. So I also learned that, yeah, okay. Oh! That's awesome. Not too bad.
Have you been rained on by confetti before?
It's really good, really good. So.
So check out this ring. What are your thoughts on it?
This is really awesome, and I have to say that I visited the CDPR guys 3 days ago in their headquarters, and when they showed me the ring, I was really, I mean, that's like the real prize. It's not on Reims, by the way. It's not on Reims.
On the realms, that's it. Now let's get everyone else on stage. All the competitors that are waiting in the sidelines there, jump up on stage as well. A big congratulations and round of applause for everyone who played today. 4 of you walked away with $10,000 or more. Adrian next to me here, a giant ring that has granted you the prize of being today's tournament winner. Amazing work, guys. Honestly, some gameplay that we saw today, 10 hours of gaming. My goodness, some of you played for a lot longer than others. There was a draw, which has never been heard of before. Guys, you should all be incredibly proud of yourselves. Rafael, I know you said you didn't want to say anything, but this is your game that you co-created. What would you like to say?
Well, congratulations to everybody, to all the contestants, to Adrian and Nox. That was an amazing final. Yeah, round of applause for the finalists. And yeah, please check out Gwent. You can access the game now, and hopefully you'll see us soon.
Fantastic. Also, a big shout out to our casters today. Over 10 hours of casting. Really well done. Honestly. Not only Dane and Miguel on this panel, but also we had someone representing Poland and the Chinese stream as well. So well done, guys. But that's it from us. Honestly, it's been a really long stream, so we're going to cut it quick so you guys can celebrate and have some drinks. Josh, final words, over to you.
All right, folks, this is the official way to play Gwent. This is how I'm going to get better, hands down. Thank you so much, Live Coach. Congratulations once again, and to all the competitors. Gentlemen, I want to briefly go through what we just witnessed in that last series and take a look at some of these replays before we close out the night. Noxious brought quite a lot of strategy, and he kept Live Coach on his toes. To me, that's a victory in and of itself when you have such an established pro.
Oh, I love this.
And there we go. It's going to spread like wildfire.
This is it.
Your guys' thoughts on that last series?
I think it was outstanding. I think it was a beautiful history of like an underdog just climbing through the ranks, taking down the favorite in the quarterfinals. He was like, everybody was saying how he got the worst matchup possible, and he overcame that and then moved on to face the #1 player and almost took him down. 112-103, not even a 10-point lead at the final score there. I think this was fantastic. I don't think it could have turned out any better. I'm just shocked. I can't believe this event went on like this. It's crazy.
You want a best-of-5 series to go to 5, especially for the finals. It really shows that the competition is very, very strong there. We saw Noxious play very great control gameplay, and ultimately it came down to Life Coach, who's proven that he is just an excellent player when it comes to card games, and you know, he's tearing it up right now, and that ring is something else. I got to take a closer look at that one.
Yeah, very, very special to see that ring. Let's take a look at the bracket to see the journey for all these players and how Life Coach became our champion. First off, we had Trump versus Fion 56. Fion moved on to the semifinals. Life Coach defeated Okimena. He moved on. Noxious versus Pro Neo. Noxious continued on his journey, and PPD versus Vishra. USA versus USA. It was PPD that was able to make it to the semifinals. Then Life Coach defeated Fion 56, waited in the final for his opponent, and after Noxious versus PPD, it was the Canadian player that moved on. The player that most of us thought, great to have him here, wonderful streamer, great member of the community, not sure how he's going to do, and he took second place, surprising all of us.
Epic, and I've stated in the past that, actually at the beginning of the stream, that Noxious is the guy who introduced me to Gwent. I learned the existence of this game through a YouTube video from him, and I picked it up myself, and I haven't dropped it since. I'm just very excited to see him perform so well, and I think it was an exceptional show. Like, it was such a journey. We saw so many different decks, so many different strategies. It was just outstanding.
Yeah. And oh, it's great to see Canada represented in the final.
Yeah.
Gotta say.
Of course.
All right, gentlemen, we have been broadcasting for quite some time, and we need to wrap up here. I want to get your final thoughts down the line, Miguel, starting with you.
Well, I hope, first of all, I hope you guys enjoyed this show, and I just gotta say, this is only the beginning. There's no way Gwent doesn't pick up from this. Like, this is crazy. Like, for a first event, this is outstanding, and I just look forward to be able to be a part of this, not only as a caster, but also improving as a player myself, because I have learned a lot today. It's very exciting to be a part of this game. This feels like, this feels very special to me, because it's also my first time casting at a event like this, and I was pretty nervous, but
oh, you killed it, man. You killed it.
I don't know. I'm a little bit emotional. Just take it over.
Yeah, you should be emotional. I mean, I'll be very candid right now. This is a dream come true to be able to be a part of this and to be hanging out with these people. I just want to say thanks so much to the devs and thanks so much for the guests. Everybody that's around. I want to give a shout out to Grey Boxer, my co-host on the Commander Zone podcast as well. I want to give a shout out to everybody who follows. I mean, we obviously care so much about our community and the support that we receive. And, we see it everywhere. We see it, in Twitch, Reddit, Discord, Twitter, you name it. It's just, I'm starting to get emotional as well. I'm full of energy, and it's all going to come out really soon.
Well, gentlemen, it was a pleasure to work with you. We have been working behind the scenes for quite some time to put on this event, and today we're all very, very proud that we've crowned our first Gwent champion. Now, for those of you that watch from home, you can download Gwent right now. All you have to do is go to playgwent.com, absolutely free. The closed beta is about to end soon, so make sure you sign up and play immediately. And check out some of these decks. They're going to be available online. I'm sure a lot of people are going to start meta crafting and putting all sorts of theory behind these decks and watching the meta evolve even further. Well, that does it for all of us here. On behalf of Maud Garrett, Miguel Guerrero-Leon, Dane McBurney, all of the ESL Poland staff, and to all the developers here at CD Projekt Red, thank you so much for putting together an amazing game. It has been truly a wonderful, wonderful experience here, and we are just getting started. On behalf of everybody here, thanks for tuning in. Until next time, good night and good game.